Chapter 1761. Chen Zhang's current situation was not as serious as Feng Yuji had imagined. As long as the seal did not work on Chen Shang, he could use the spirit lock technique inside the heavenly alchemy to easily stabilize his mind and not be affected by her faintly discernible charm power. It was just that Feng Yuji did not have such a strong soul lock technique like Chen Shang did, which was why she had mistaken Chen Zhang's situation as very bad. Thinking back to it now, she felt that she had gone too far, and felt extremely guilty. Aunt Feng, you seem to understand the matters above God's realm very well. Have you ever stayed up there before? Chen Shang had already suspected this a long time ago, but what made him even more suspicious was that Feng Yuji was probably a ranker who could have entered the God's realm a long time ago. I won't tell you. Seeing that she avoided the question, Chen Shang was sure that this Feng Yuji came down from God's realm. Moreover, he had come down here a long time ago. Chen Shang curled his lips and said, so petty. Feng Yuji suddenly pulled Chen Shang along, and flew him to a direction, where there was a large piece of ancient forest. Along the way, Chen Shang asked a few questions, but Feng Yuji didn't even answer them. They continued to fly for more than 2 hours before finally stopping. At this moment, they were at the bottom of a mountain in the depths of the forest. What did you bring me here for? Chen Shang looked around at the towering mountains. The mountains here were all chaotic mountainous and he had been to this forest before. Didn't you want to know something about me? I brought you here and told you. Feng Yuji said. Can't you just send me a sound transmission? Chen Shang laughed. There's no need to come to this kind of place, there's no need to be alone. Feng Yuji scoffed, and her expression became serious. That's because I have something that I want to show you, and that thing cannot be seen by others. She extended her jade-like palm with a transparent pearl on it. It didn't seem to be some kind of mysterious object. What is this thing? There's nothing special about it. Just as Chen Shang finished speaking, the transparent pearl started to shine, and there was a silvery white glow inside. In the center of the pearl, there was even a sliver of flickering silver flames. Do you feel that it's a little familiar? Feng Yuji said in a low voice. Now you know what this is. The silver light that the pearl emitted became brighter and brighter, and Chen Shang also felt a very strange burning sensation. This burning sensation was not because his body was being burned, but because of his soul. Just being struck by this silver light made one feel as though their soul was being roasted. This is a Chuangzhao fire. Chen Shang also opened his palm, releasing a small silver flame that looked exactly like the one inside the pearl. It was just that the flames Chen Shang released trembled for a few moments, then immediately extinguished. Back then, a large portion of the lives and energies of Nine Heaven World and the Endless Heaven Realm were burned out by this flame. As for mine, this is the Primal Chaos Fire Soul, which is also my life's Fire Soul. Feng Yuji put away the pearl, and said in a low voice, that pearl from earlier was my life's divine deity. What? Chen Shang said in surprise. Feng Yuji could actually casually take out his own divine deity. Why would I lie to you? Do you know how powerful I am now? Feng Yuji saw Chen Zhang's surprised expression and chuckled. Don't think about bullying me. Chen Shang said snappily. I've always been bullied by you, but I've never said anything, and I've always let you go. Also, right now, you haven't told me where you're from. Feng Yuji lightly tapped Chen Zhang's head, and laughed. You idiot, you still can't guess my identity, it's already very obvious. Chen Shang thought about it, then shook his head. He really could not figure out where Feng Yuji came from. The fact that I possess the Primal Chaos Fire Soul shows that I am extremely skilled in controlling this type of flame. Feng Yuji chuckled. I've given you a hint now, you should be able to guess it. With this hint, Chen Shang thought for a bit, then her face became startled as she looked at Feng Yuji who was giggling. One of the creators of the Nine Heaven World. Chen Shang was stunned for a long time before shouting in shock. This was something he had never thought of before, and if it was really so, then what kind of identity did the Mei Emperor have? Feng Yuji stuck out her tongue, and laughed. Did I get scared? Actually, I am not really one of the creators, I was just a little girl in Nine Heaven Divine Palace back then. Chen Shang said. Then what about Mei Emperor, didn't you say that she came to this world together with you? That's right, we weren't born in a normal way. I've told you before that I was born in the same crystal ball as you. It's just that she was born in a black crystal ball and the ones that created us are the Nine Heavens Divine Palace. Feng Yuji sighed. Miming Yan Jing and I are not finished products, we are just existences that were discovered, but that group of gods treated us very well, and treated us like disciples, and trained us, and when we possessed decent strength, they would bring us to create this world, and at that time, I would have already grasped the Chuangzhou fire and would have helped a lot. It was only then that we realized that I had heavily injured her, causing her to sleep for a very long time. However, when she woke up, she had caught up to the incident at 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord, and because of some things, I was unable to stop her, and that caused the destruction of DTN. At that time, my masters and the others' plan failed, so I never thought that DTN would be reborn, and that it would be so perfect. Recalling the past, Feng Yuji's expression was complicated, the emotions of happiness, sadness, longing and loneliness all suddenly surfaced in his heart. Chen Shang still did not believe him, and shook his head. Didn't that group of gods all die inside the 9-Heaven Devil Palace? That's right, Feng Yuji lamented, only I survived. Even to this day, I still don't understand why before they died, they used all their power to send me out of the 9-Heaven Devil Palace. They exhausted the last of their strength and sent me out. However, I also had a hidden disease at that time, and I'm much better now. Chen Shang stared at Feng Yuji. If what Feng Yuji said was true, then Feng Yuji was a genuine and powerful goddess. I can't believe it, doesn't that mean the Mei Emperor is very powerful? Chen Shang suddenly started to worry, there was such a powerful woman causing trouble in the 9-Heaven world, this was a disaster. Chapter 1762, Chen Shang thought back to something that LV Gen had mentioned before. It was that the cultivation methods Feng Yuji and the Mei Emperor used were all very rare in the gods' realm, and they were all very dangerous because the two of them had been instructed by the 9th Heaven God since they were young. You still won't believe me. Feng Yuji looked at Chen Zhang's suspicious face and laughed. Of course I don't believe it. The reason why I'm here is because that group of 9 Heavens gods created this world back then, and you also participated in it. Doesn't that mean that my existence is related to you? Feng Yuji immediately let out a string of light and delicate laughter. Yeah, you still have to thank me right now, so I might as well accept Mei Yao and the others as my goddaughter. Feng Yuji pinched Chen Zhang's face. Little brat, before, you still had those evil thoughts of mine, are you afraid now? HMPH, wasn't it all because of you enticing me? Why don't you go to the depths of your heart to ask yourself? It's already pretty good that I was able to endure until now. Chen Shang slapped Feng Yuji's tender jade hands away. In order to further verify that Feng Yuji was one of the gods that had participated in the creation of the 9-Heaven world, Chen Shang kept asking for more details. Aunt Feng, you have even told me these things. Aren't you afraid of telling me something even more secret? Chen Shang asked. Call me big sister, and I'll tell you. Feng Yuji mischievously smiled. Elder sister, you can ask now, right? Chen Shang even took out a very comfortable big chair for Feng Yuji to sit on. Good girl, Feng Yuji said with an extremely happy smile. Go ahead and ask now, I'll tell you everything I know. You should know about the god graveyard, right? My dad is still guarding it right now. This had been a mystery in Chen Zhang's heart for many years. Of course I know, that tomb was built by me. What do you think? Feng Yuji said. I just didn't think that it would actually be your family guarding the tomb. Chen Shang was immediately dumbstruck. The damned god's tomb was actually made by this goddess who liked to pretend to be young. What exactly is happening? Weren't you still alive? What kind of tomb are you talking about? Chen Shang had already made many conjectures before, that such a powerful divine tomb was definitely made by an old fellow. My second soul and divine deity are both buried inside, and I almost died. However, there is a dragon vein underneath that, after so many years, I can quickly recover. At that time, I can become even stronger. Feng Yuji said, if I had continued sparring with you at that time, you would have definitely lost to me. That is my true strength. Feng Yuji possessed the second divine soul and divine deity, which meant that she was a god. When can my father ever be? Chen Shang took a deep breath. This Feng Yuji was much stronger than he had imagined. In any case, they are doing very well up there. After all, there is a dragon vein there, and there is also the creative power that I left behind in there. It can produce a large amount of high-level medicine materials, and if they can find some of the divine arts that I left behind, they will definitely become stronger. Feng Yuji said. You are an Empyrean god, you are only capable of concocting panacea. You are too weak. Chen Shang curled his lips. You're so amazing, yet you still lose to a small fry like me. You're too disappointing. That's because I didn't pay too much attention to the Tao of pills and I don't have much time. I've been recovering from injuries for many years. Feng Yuji pouted and said, "Just you wait, one day I will definitely win against you. Once I find the divine medicine, I will be able to refine a divine pill, and when my second soul recovers, I will recover my original strength, and winning against you will be a piece of cake." Chen Shang laughed out loud. "Even if you win against me, what sense of accomplishment do you have? I'm not even a god, unless I'm also a god who has the same kind of strength as you, otherwise, even if I lose, I won't feel sad." Feng Yuji puffed her cheeks and scoffed a few times. "Also, I want to ask about the 7 Dragons sword, as well as the 4 symbols divine weapons, the Azure Dragon and other sacred beasts." Chen Shang asked. "Yes, White Tiger, Vermilion Bird, Black Tortoise, and Green Dragon were all divine beasts from the ancient times of the gods' realm, and were all extremely powerful. However, they were all killed later on, and even the slightly more powerful dragons were all killed as well. The 7 Dragons swords are actually the 9 Dragons Holy Sword, as well as the Poison Dragon Sword and the Jade Dragon Sword." Feng Yuji was curious, as he knew quite a few things. "I have 7 Dragons sword. If that's the case, then I'm still 2 ways off. Poison dragons and jade dragons are extremely rare. I don't know how to gather them all." Chen Shang now understood why the objects that were displayed were still so blurry when 7 Dragons sword were gathered together. Feng Yuji said, "There are 9 divine kings in the 9 heaven divine palace, and they are all very powerful gods back then. When the gods' realm was called the 9 divine kings, after those powerful divine beasts were massacred, the 9 of them charged straight into hell and retrieved all of the 7 spirits and 6 spirits of those divine beasts. In the end, they established the 9 heaven world, and when they gave birth to those divine beasts, they injected all of them into it. In other words, when the first batch of holy beasts first appeared, they all had a past life, but when they created this world, the conditions were very bad, and they were constantly interfered with by external forces, so there was a huge problem. Until now, they have yet to awaken the memories of their past lives, and we originally thought that after they awakened their memories, they would protect this world, make this world stronger, and eventually eliminate the gods' realm." Chen Shang said, "But most of them are still quite united, it could be that they subconsciously urged them to do so. Long Shui, Azure Dragon, Ice Dragon, Qi Shi, White Tiger and the others. Back then, they were all part of the sacred beast's ancient realm and their relationship was very good." Chen Shang took out those Chaos Fire token and said, "A long time ago, there was a legend that after all these Chaos Fire token recognized their masters, they would be able to summon out the 9 Heaven Devil Palace, so the 9 Heaven Devil Palace must still be hiding something." "Yes, that's right. Originally, he was going to create 9 Chaos Fire token because he had 9 divine kings. However, due to time, he only refined 7 Chaos Fire token." Feng Yuji received the Chaos Fire token, her jade hands trembling. With tears still in her eyes, 9 divine kings was comparable to her elder brother. "Are they really dead?" Chen Shang asked. "They call themselves the divine kings, they shouldn't die that easily." "I don't know, just don't go in that place. Even if they are still alive, they have already turned into evil spirits." Feng Yuji returned the Chaos Fire token to Chen Shang and wiped away the tears on his cheeks. Chen Shang kept the Chaos Fire token and asked while frowning, "In the end, who attacked them, God of Fortune?" Feng Yuji shook his head. "It's not the God of Fortune, the God of Fortune's strength is not enough yet. The God's realm is far bigger than the 9 heaven world, and also much more complicated than what you seem to understand on the surface. Of course, you do not need to know much about God's realm now. If you have the chance to go there in the future, you will be able to experience it for yourself. I will tell you so much mainly because of your good behavior." Feng Yuji stood up, and suddenly appeared in front of Chen Shang in a flash, gently patting Chen Zhang's handsome face, and smiled gently. "Chaos Realm has already been devoured by the 9 heaven world, so it's definitely going to be difficult for Endless Heaven Realm to survive. Therefore, it won't be long before the various divine halls of the gods' realm send people down here to seize territory. I think that the all-divine palaces up there will begin to release their restrictions to allow a few deities to descend, just like the devil-killing summit." Chen Shang suddenly grabbed Feng Yuji's hand and rubbed the back of her hand. She laughed sinisterly and pulled her hand back. "Sister, you should make a shrine too. I will definitely follow you." Chen Shang laughed. "I don't have that kind of free time on my hands. I have somewhere to go in God's realm." Feng Yuji said, "There is a divine female palace in God's realm, and it is filled with women. If they send their people down later, I will be the hall master of the 9 heaven world." Chen Shang sighed, it's such a pity. Looks like I can only create one divine hall. I've already thought of the name, so I'll call it the God Slaughtering Palace. It's quite domineering. Feng Yuji laughed tenderly, you used to be the dragon subduing school and now you're even a shrine to the slaughter god realm. You always had such a murderous aura around you, so I feel that you should create a shrine focused solely on refining pellets. At present, the god's realm doesn't have one. Refining pills is my main business, killing gods is my side business. Through refining pills, I can become stronger, and at the same time, I can also become a deity's Templar. If there's nothing else to do, I'll make a move on the deity's Templar that I dislike, not as good as the god of fortune and the fire god. Chen Shang laughed. Don't worry, I won't do anything to your divine female palace. I will specifically kill that kind of evil god. Feng Yuji tapped Chen Shang on his forehead with his finger, all you know is to cause trouble every day. If you really do that, penalty heavenly god will definitely kill you. It won't be long before the shrine arrives. When the time comes, the emperor of the 10 great holy nations will seek refuge there too, so when the time comes, your dragon vein will be controlled by multiple shrines. I've told you so much just so that you can pay attention to it. Chen Shang replied. I'm not afraid, the dragon fountain is mine to begin with. If I can't get it, no one can, I don't care what kind of divine hall it is. In that case, you're going to have to contend with the shrines now. Feng Yuji was very worried about this. Chen Shang nodded, I'm not a soft persimmon. Feng Yuji sighed lightly, when my second divine soul completely recovers, I will give you the dragon vein for the divine tomb. That way, you won't have to contend with those divine halls anymore. Chen Shang shook his head, even if you give it to me, those fellows would definitely come to snatch it away. When the time comes, I will also have to clash with them. In 9 Heaven World, who didn't know that the dragon vein belonged to me, Chen Shang? Now that the dragon subduing school has been forced to disband, the dragon vein has been seized, and I have already returned, to this day I have not made a single movement. Others might think that I am afraid, they might think that I am afraid of the 10 great holy nations, but I am not afraid. Chapter 1763. After Chen Shang learned so much from Feng Yuji, he had already decided that no matter what, he would have to do something. Right now, it was the best opportunity to deal with the 10 great holy nations, and if this continued, when the all-divine palaces sends people down to take care of the holy nations, it would not be that easy for him to make a move against them. Seeing Chen Zhang's resolute expression, Feng Yuji could tell that he was already prepared to take action. If the all-divine palaces comes to a conclusion, once the restrictions on the 9 Heaven World are lifted, many shrines will send down their deities. At that time, you will have to restrain yourself a little, and those deities will be hard to deal with. Feng Yuji sighed. Are you going back now? Chen Shang suddenly thought of something, and asked, if you go back, can you help me check on my father's condition? No problem, come find me in a while. Seeing Chen Shang turning around, Feng Yuji suddenly grabbed Chen Zhang's arm, took out a golden talisman, and stuffed it into Chen Zhang's hands. In times of crisis, it might be useful to you. Be careful. Feng Yuji smiled at Chen Shang and stuck out his tongue. This was a divine talisman, and previously, when Chen Shang was at divine prison, he had been given one by Yu Fan, so the effect was very good, but the one that Feng Yuji gave him now, seemed to be much better than the one that Yu Fan gave him. Thank you, elder sister. Chen Shang laughed and kept it. Feng Yuji warned once again, then floated away. In the blink of an eye, she was gone, only the enchanting fragrance on her body remained. Chen Shang then took out the divine talisman that Feng Yuji had given him earlier, and looked carefully at the spirit grain on it. The talisman was bright gold, as if it was gold leaf, and with one look, one could tell that it was stronger than Yu Fan's. In the future, we have to let the elder sister Munger and Shenxian study how to refine these things. It would be good for us to refine more of these things to protect ourselves. Chen Shang kept the divine talisman, then opened a spatial passageway. After stepping in, he arrived outside a city with tall walls. The place Chen Shang came to was the original Evil Dragon Graveyard. It was just that the Evil Dragon Great Formation had already been destroyed, and the 10 great holy nations had constructed a great holy city on top of it. If he wanted to obtain the qualifications to enter and leave the city at any time, he had to pay 5 million kilograms of holy stone s. The Great Saint City was located on top of a dragon vein, and the Holy Spirit Chi inside it was extremely dense. If it was directly absorbed, it would be like absorbing the Holy Spirit Chi inside a holy stone. Chen Shang still had the Hell Devil Emperor's tracing mantra on him, but because Chen Shang was stronger, the Hell Devil Emperor had temporarily slowed down in her pursuit of Chen Shang. Hell Devil Emperor had planned to send people down from God's realm to deal with Chen Shang after all divine palaces had released the restrictions. However, at that time, he would also be quite competitive, because he was not the only one who wanted to capture Chen Shang and get his hands on the heavenly alchemy. The god of fortune would already be involved. Without the Hell Devil Emperor's notification, the Emperor did not know that Chen Shang was outside the Great Sage City and that Yan Jing of the 10 Great Holy Nations was also inside the city. Chen Shang didn't pay 5 million kilograms of holy stone. Using the transformation technique, he turned into a little bug and easily followed a few people inside. After entering, he first went to the transmission array plaza in the city and teleported to Holy Ice Swallow City, where the Ice Emperor was located. Chen Shang came here by himself. He did not call for Qi Shi and the others, because when the time came for him to fight, he might use some methods that would have a greater killing range. After arriving at Holy Ice Swallow City, Chen Shang went straight to the Grand Palace. Holy Ice Imperial Palace looked as if it had been carved on a large expanse of ice, all snow white, the carvings very exquisite. When they approached, the cold aura wasn't something that an ordinary person could withstand. His defense is too weak. Chen Shang used his divine power to test the formations protecting the palace. Compared to LV Kilian's hundreds of flowers palace, they were too lacking. Chen Shang stood at the entrance of the Holy Ice Imperial Palace. At this time, the guards at the entrance also frowned at him, but when they saw him standing there in a daze, they walked over fiercely. The guards were pretty strong, they were all just 9 transformation saint masters. The guards wanted to kick Chen Shang out of the room, but after walking a few steps, they saw a ray of cyan light suddenly appear on Chen Zhang's right hand, followed by a mighty huge blade flashing out of the cyan light. Seeing the lifelike green dragon above, and hearing the trembling dragon cry, the guards all anxiously retreated. With their strength, of course they knew what blade it was. It was the powerful green dragon demon-slain broadsword, and the person who possessed it was the original owner of the dragon vein, Chen Shang. Chen Shang, who had not appeared for more than 5,000 years, suddenly returned, and news of this matter had already spread 2 or 3 days ago. At that time, the 10 great holy nations had already been on guard against Chen Shang. Because the dragon vein was originally Chen Zhang's, it was just that they did not expect him to actually come to the entrance of Holy Nations' Yanjing Imperial Palace alone. Chen Shang raised the green dragon demon-slain broadsword high up, the vast divine power surging and entering into the divine blade, causing it to shine brightly, surging out wave after wave of spirit chi, causing the ground to shake. The raging dragons roared again and again. This dragon fountain is mine. After Chen Shang finished speaking, he chopped down at the ice palace with his blade. A shocking dragon's roar sounded and the blade energy transformed into a cyan rainbow of light. A cyan light beam rushed out from the blade and instantly turned into a cyan dragon. The dragon's head spewed out bursts of terrifying energy which swept into the majestic ice palace in front of it. The seemingly sturdy and huge palace door was instantly smashed into pieces. The furious dragon roared, and huge chunks of thick ice continuously flew out from the palace. The enormous and imposing ice palace had only been slashed by Chen Shang, but most of the buildings inside had already been shattered by the powerful blade aura and the furious dragon's roaring sound waves. The interior of the entire ice palace had already been torn into pieces, and most of the tall buildings had collapsed. The biggest hall in the ice palace was also Chen Zhang's main target. After being ruthlessly hit by the dragon head made from blade energy, the entire hall was smashed into pieces, and like splashes of water from the ground, scattered in all directions. At this moment, the vast capital of the Holy Ice Country was enveloped by the lingering roars of the furious dragons, and the powerful pressure that accompanied the sudden trembling of the capital was even more terrifying. A haze had already drifted over from the skies of the capital of the Holy Ice Country, flashing with lightning and with a murderous aura that caused everyone in the city to clearly feel the terrifying killing intent that caused them to find it hard to breathe. A fiery red huge bow appeared in the air above him as he pulled the bowstring. As he pulled the bowstring, flames suddenly spewed out of the bowstring, and as he pulled the bow, a bright and eye-piercing long arrow appeared from the bow as well. There was always a large patch of ice with a pressing cold chi below, but as Chen Shang pulled on Gongzan and condensed an arrow, the temperature of the surrounding area suddenly increased and the ice quickly melted, as streams of water formed and flowed out in all directions. Ice Emperor, come out and die. Don't hide like a turtle. Chen Zhang's roar was like rolling thunder, spreading in all directions and shaking everyone's ears. Swoosh! Chen Shang loosened his bow, and the fiery red arrow shot out like lightning, striking the collapsed main hall and sinking deep into the ground. Boom! A loud sound came from the ground as cracks appeared in the surrounding thousands of feet radius around the main hall like a spider web. The most terrifying thing was that these cracks were emitting bursts of fire. Boom! 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 Another few loud sounds came from the bottomless crevices, followed by an incomparably intense vibration. One after another, huge rocks were thrown into the air, and those crevices spewed out scorching flames. The entire ice palace was completely destroyed, and the continuous explosions continued to come from the depths. Waves after waves of powerful flame energy surged up from the ground, forming a gigantic fire pillar that shot into the clouds, and filled the entire sacred ice country with its intense flames. The huge pillar of fire shot up into the sky, continuously spattering large and small balls of fire. Like a meteor shower, it fell onto the holy ice country. In the blink of an eye, this entire country had been set ablaze. Chen Zhang's flames were sacred flames, not just anyone could extinguish them. The dragon fountain is mine, Chen Shang. If you continue to stay on the dragon fountain, no matter who it is, you will be killed without exception. Chen Zhang's ice-cold voice that was filled with heartless killing intent transmitted throughout the entire holy ice country. At this moment, everyone was desperately trying to escape from this place. They were regretting that they had spent so much money to steal the dragon fountain. Now that the main culprit had returned and even created such a huge commotion, they had suffered such heavy losses that they didn't even have a place to cry. Chen Shang! A furious roar resounded like thunder. A bone-piercing cold arrow suddenly appeared from all directions, enveloping Chen Shang. The Ice Emperor of the Holy Ice Nation had come. Chen Zhang's body trembled, and a set of golden armor appeared on his body. With the protection of the profound diamond armor, the short arrows were immediately destroyed by the protective powers of the divine armor before they could even come close to him. You're finally here, you should spend more time hiding so that you can live a little longer. Don't think that just because you acted like a dog for Hell Devil Emperor you can live forever. Chen Shang took a step forward and arrived beside Ice Emperor. Ice Emperor was a middle-aged man wearing a white robe. He originally controlled the entire sacred ice region and called himself Ice Emperor, and now that he established this sacred ice nation and took over the dragon subduing school, he occupied a position here. You don't even have divine deity. Chen Shang directly arrived in front of Ice Emperor and a burst of spatial energy rippled out like water, forming a space domain. You, Ice Emperor suddenly felt that he couldn't move, and was extremely shocked. He had already noticed at this time that Chen Shang used a very powerful spatial energy to seal him in a very small space. Chapter 1764. To be able to control such a powerful spatial energy, it must have the strength of a god or the power of laws. This Ice Emperor knew this, no matter which one it was, they were all considered very strong. Chen Shang grabbed at the air, only to see a bloody heart suddenly appearing in his palm. The heart was wrapped in a transparent spatial barrier, and it currently had a very strong life force, jumping crazily. The heart belonged to the Ice Emperor. Seeing the speed at which the heart was beating, one could tell that the Ice Emperor was terrified. Ice Emperor knew that his heart did not separate from his body. It was only because Chen Shang used an extremely mysterious spatial energy to retrieve his heart, that his heart was still connected to his body. No, Ice Emperor saw Chen Zhang's sinister smile, and shouted like he was shouting. A ball of silver-white flame suddenly emerged from Chen Zhang's palm, enveloping the heart and splitting it into a ball of pure energy, dispersing outwards. Ice Emperor cried out in pain. To a strong warrior like him, even if he did not have a heart, he would not die, but to make such a strong heart, it would take a very long time or he would need to eat sacred heart fruit to recover. The most important thing the Ice Emperor was facing was not the repair of his heart, but whether or not he could survive. The difference between someone without divine deity and someone with divine deity was just this large. Furthermore, facing a monster like Chen Shang, Ice Emperor had already lost all hope. I heard that you use profound in poison and even used this poison to deal with Qianchen. HMPH, this is also the reason why I came to find you first. Chen Shang did not immediately kill Ice Emperor. Instead, he took out a ball of white powder and stuffed it into Ice Emperor's mouth. Let me show you the power of a super old poison. Chen Zhang's super old poison was not one type, but several of them combined. Ice Emperor, who was unable to move, could only allow himself to be slaughtered in front of Chen Shang. After eating Chen Zhang's super old poison and being paralyzed by the drunk god magical poison's power, he could only allow the other strange poison to continue to spread within his body. Magical corruption gas, profound and poison, and 7 night devil orchids were all strange, tormenting poisons, and Ice Emperor was also very knowledgeable, so he could recognize these strange poisons. At this moment, he was screaming non-stop, his expression incomparably sinister. I won't send you to hell, because I won't give you the chance to go to hell. I will just make you disappear from this world, not even giving you the chance to reincarnation. Chen Shang saw that it was about time. He struck the Ice Emperor's head with his palm, sucked out his soul, and then used the fire of chaos to purify the body that was filled with the strange poison. Ice Emperor died so quickly. Back then, when Qi Shi was still a 10 Heavens Supreme Lord, he was just as powerful and could easily deal with other strong of Lord stage. However, it was not that easy for him to kill those strong of Lord stage S. It could be seen that the current Chen Shang was much more powerful than the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord back then. Chen Shang swept his eyes across the area below, looked at the remaining people from the Holy Ice Nation, and coldly said, "You all use the fastest speed to spread the news of me killing the Ice Emperor to the entire great sacred city, and also told everyone here that the dragon vein is mine. If I were to die here, you all can't blame me." Without needing those people to explain, Chen Shang had already used his boundless divine power to form sound waves that covered the entire holy city. The experts of the 9 kingdoms within the great sage city could all hear it. The entire holy ice country had been annihilated, and the Ice Emperor was easily killed. Everyone in the great sage city could already see that Chen Zhang's strength was extremely terrifying, and Chen Shang would definitely have a great battle here next. If he continued to stay, he would only be affected. Hurry up and leave. The 10 great holy nations did not take advantage of me earlier to snatch this dragon vein away, and now that she has returned, it would be normal to flatten this place. If you continue to stay here, you might not be able to keep your life. The other 9 emperors have yet to appear. They will definitely be able to stop Chen Shang. Didn't you see? Chen Shang exterminated the Ice Emperor with a raise of his hand. The difference between him and the Ice Emperor is not small at all. It isn't something that can be made up for with just a small number of people. Forget about the 9 emperor, even if the 90 emperor came, he would still be beaten like a dog. Let's go, let's not waste our time talking anymore. The 9 emperors did not appear. They are clearly frightened. Didn't you all see the other 9 imperial palace fellows running faster than anyone else? Everyone began to flee, because at this moment, another great commotion came from the direction of the holy ice country. Chen Shang used his Suzaku bow to continuously shoot at the ground. At this time, he also sensed that there were tens of powerful auras surging over, which meant that most likely, the other 9 emperors had brought their people over. HMPH suddenly released a very strong space domain, wrapping himself up. With a domain of 100 meters, all those strong of Lord stage that came would be like passing through a dimensional door, and would be unable to approach Chen Shang. Chen Zhang's space domain was extremely powerful. When attacking from outside, no matter if one touched a domain, they would not be able to pass through the middle of the domain and would always pass through the other side. Chen Shang, are you going to destroy the dragon fountain? They had cultivated here for many years, so they were able to deeply sense the benefits this dragon vein brought. Before long, it would be able to help them condense their divine deity. Chen Shang laughed coldly. You all should be taking advantage of the time before I kill you all to recall all the good things from the past. I won't give you all another chance in a bit. Of course, if you all escape, I won't even bother to chase down trash like you. Chen Shang continuously pulled on the bow, condensing powerful arrows one after another, frantically attacking the ground. At this time, a very huge pit appeared below. No matter how you looked at it, it looked like he was going to destroy the dragon vein. You've disappeared for 5,000 years, and indeed, you've become very powerful. Back then, whenever you met us, you would flee in all directions. But now, Chen Shang actually disdained to kill them. It could be seen how strong Chen Shang had become at this moment. So even if Chen Shang was worth 10 divine deities, they wouldn't be able to kill him now. The 9 emperor and the other experts were helpless outside of the domain. They could only watch as Chen Shang slowly attacked the dragon vein. In their eyes, Chen Shang wanted to destroy the dragon vein so that no one could obtain it, but the dragon vein was the only way for them to condense their divine deity. He cultivated the heavenly alchemy, had the divine deity, and had even devoured the Hell Prince's divine deity before. He had devoured a lot of the powerful divine souls, and although his body did not reach the jade bone, it was also extremely powerful. Adding the 4 symbols divine weapons into the mix, the 9 emperor were not even able to withstand a single blow. Now, even Chen Shang was blaming Huang Jintian and the others, to think that they had boasted so much about the 9 emperors. Yes, Chen Shang suddenly stopped because he felt a wave of heat attacking him. If he guessed correctly, it should be the Fire Emperor of the Fire Divine Nations. The Fire Emperor of the Fire Divine Nations did not join the 10 Great Holy Nations, but he controlled a large region above the Dragon Vein. The initially half-crippled Fire Emperor, because of the support of the God's realm, became extremely powerful and almost killed Qi Shi. When the Fire Emperor arrived, the 9 Emperor of the 10 Great Holy Nations was secretly happy because they felt an even stronger flame aura. However, that aura was not from the Fire Emperor, but it was stronger than the Fire Emperor. Chapter 1765. It did not take long for this news to spread to all the big cities in DTN. It was extremely shocking, and many small and medium-sized forces were secretly worried. They were worried that something like the ancient 10 Heavens Supreme Lord would happen, and when the time came, they would be the ones to suffer when DTN was destroyed again. Actually, their worries were unnecessary. Currently, DTN and the other 9 days had become very stable and could not be disintegrated so easily. When Long Shui was inside the Hundreds of Flowers Palace, she brought the Dragon Blood Saint Dan S that Chen Shang and the others refined during the competition over. She, Lu Meng'er and the other girls were in a cool cave, watching them refine pills. Not long after, little Lizzie hurried over. What's going on? Chen Shang went to the great sacred city alone and fought the 10 great holy nations alone. I heard that the sacred ice nation's ice emperor had already been destroyed, and now, Chen Shang is frantically attacking the dragon veins, attempting to destroy them. Little Lizzie was also surprised to see Long Shui here. She thought that Long Shui would be together with him. Long Shui frowned. Where's Feng Yuji? She should be with Chen Shang. Is it only Chen Shang who has appeared in the great sacred city? Little Lizzie nodded her head. He's alone, there's nothing else. The latest news is that the Fire Emperor of the Fire Divine Nations is leading a group of experts there. The other emperors of the other 9 holy nations are unable to do anything to Chen Shang. When Lu Meng'er heard that Chen Shang was fighting with a group of people, he became anxious immediately. Let's hurry up. Leng Yulin had already brandished his large sword a few times, ready to fight at any time. At this time, LV Kilian and LV Qinlian walked over. Seeing that Lu Meng'er and the other girls were already sharpening their blades, they said, "It's better if we don't participate." Chen Shang did not even call Qi Shi and Zhang Sheng over this time, and Huang Jintian, who was usually mixed in with others, also did not appear. It's obvious that he wanted to make a big fuss himself. If we go, it would only get him in the way. LV Qinlian said, "We will only go to the side to spectate the battle. We definitely do not want to enter the battlefield. Right now father, mother and the others are already rushing over." On the other side, Huang Jintian, Qi Shi, who had just parted ways with Chen Shang not long ago, was already gathered together with Zhang Sheng. This little scoundrel, he actually doesn't call us when he's doing something like this. Does he think we're getting in the way? He's actually being treated as a burden. How hateful, Huang Jintian scolded. This guy is really strong. He killed the Ice Emperor in one go, and we can't do anything to the other 9 cities. It's just that I don't understand why he kept on attacking the dragon veins. Could it be that he is determined to destroy them? Qi Shi frowned. This dragon vein is a good thing. Even though it has been temporarily snatched away, but in the future, we have enough strength to snatch it back. Zhang Sheng said, "If we were to destroy the dragon's vein, the great sage city above the dragon's vein, and even the entire area of several kilometers would be destroyed. I really wouldn't know what Chen Shang is thinking." The 3 of them were all on the same boat. As soon as Feng Yuji returned to his divine feather holy nations, he heard the news immediately. She had hurriedly brought Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu to the great sage city. Seems like he really wants to destroy the dragon fountain, Feng Yuji said. Zhang Sheng knew that Feng Yuji was up there and anxiously opened a door, allowing Feng Yuji and the others to enter the small hall in the cabin. "How can you be so sure?" Huang Jintian asked. In these 5,000 years, Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu had also frequently seen Huang Jintian and the others, and they were very familiar with them. Since the various shrines in the God's realm are coming down to take their territory, they must be aiming for the dragon vein first. When the time comes, with so many shrines watching, even if we join hands, it would not be easy to destroy the dragon vein, so Chen Shang will make a move now. Feng Yuji said. After I told him these things, he immediately went to the great sage city. I originally thought he would give up on the competition for the dragon's vein. Su Meiyao shook his head. You don't understand him, but if he knows, he will definitely go. Bai Yu sighed. This is Chen Shang, the more you think he should be afraid of something, the more afraid he will be. Even if all the great halls really came down, he would do everything in his power to prevent them from easily obtaining his dragon fountain. When the experts learned that Chen Shang had gone to the great sage city, they immediately rushed there. However, they did not approach the great sage city yet, as waves of energy were constantly surging from the inside of the city. The sacred ice country was relatively close to the center of the great sacred city. Chen Shang continuously struck the ground, causing huge ripples that pretty much destroyed the great sacred city that was built by the 10 nations. Bai Yaowei, LV Zhen, Grandma LV, Lu Fusheng and the others had already arrived, gathered with LV Kilian's group of women on top of Zhang Sheng's boat, and were arguing with each other at the same time. Old Zhang, go a little closer. You can only sense from here through your aura. Qi Shi shouted, I heard that Fire Emperor brought some other god over, but a great battle has not started yet. Zhang Sheng controlled the boat to move forward quickly, but he suddenly saw a large group of people flying. Isn't he a 9 emperor? Why is he in such a sorry state? Huang Jintian chuckled, flying off the deck and smashing his fist towards the Thunder Emperor. Huang Jintian, you are tired of living, I am not tired of living. I am too lazy to be bigger than you right now, and the dragon vein is about to be destroyed by your crazy disciple. Thunder Emperor dodged Huang Jintian's punch, leaving behind these words, he continued to escape. Zhang Sheng anxiously stopped and said, let's not get any closer. LV Kilian turned his head to look at the group of people who had escaped earlier, and said, without Fire Emperor, could it be that Fire Emperor is fighting with Chen Shang? Long Shui said, Fire Emperor and 10 fellows are surrounding Chen Shang, but they did not attack him, so I do not know what they are doing. LV Zhen looked at the sky and said, let's go. Chen Shang shouldn't be able to destroy the dragon veins. That thing isn't something that he can destroy right now. How so? Feng Yuji frowned. Then what is he doing? LV Zhen laughed and said, won't you know once we go there? You should be more clear than me about the power of that dragon's vein. Until now, the 10 great holy nations and the fire divine nations still don't have complete control over the dragon's vein, and the dragon's vein had already fused with Chen Shang that year. The god's realm of the god's realm should have an outcome. Someone will come down to stop Chen Shang soon. Other than the few people who knew that the all-divine palaces would descend, the others were extremely shocked. They never thought that the all-divine palaces would actually appear in the 9-heaven world. After that, Feng Yuji told everyone about the situation of the Chaos Realm after it had been swallowed, allowing everyone to resolve the doubts in their hearts. Feng Yuji did not tell anyone else her identity, so even Su Meiyao and Bai Yu did not know. Only Chen Shang knew the secret right now. The Fire Emperor had brought 10 experts here, but Chen Shang turned a blind eye to them. He continued to pull the Suzaku bow, and shot arrow after arrow at the ground. Chapter 1766. At this time, Chen Shang was extremely focused on shooting at the ground. The dragon vein's defense was extremely strong, and he had already struck the self-defense shield released by the dragon vein many times, but was still unable to move. Of course he knew that the Fire Emperor was outside of his own space domain, but he wasn't worried at all. Even if Fire Emperor and the others could attack and break his space domain, he would not fall into their hands. Had the same illusion at the start, but when he got closer, he realized that the other party was only a demigod. It looked like he was stronger than the Fire Emperor, and was not much of a threat to Chen Shang. Zhang Sheng steered the boat closer. Sensing Chen Zhang's presence in the space domain, everyone understood why the 9 Emperor Palace was unable to touch Chen Shang. When Chen Shang attacked the earth, many huge pieces of debris flew high into the sky and smashed into Chen Zhang's space domain, who passed through the spatial passageway. None of them smashed into Chen Shang. No matter how strong the attack was, it was still the same. This dragon fountain is so powerful. It's been attacking for so long, but it's still unable to break through the defense. Shui Shenxian looked at the flames below him, which were ignited by the arrows released by the Suzaku bow. The Suzaku bow was refined by Shui Shenxian and the others. She understood the power of the Suzaku bow very well. The quality of this dragon's vein has long been made up of high-quality holy stone. The dragon's vein was able to release a natural formation like the evil dragon graveyard to protect itself a long time ago, and now, it has formed a stronger barrier at the bottom. I think even the people from the 10 great holy nations have not entered the ground before. L.V. Kilian said. Ever since the dragon subduing school moved, there has been a huge change in the dragon's vein. Even now, Chen Shang is unable to establish a connection with the dragon's vein, so I feel that Chen Shang is using his own method to awaken the dragon's vein, or to destroy it. Before, L.V. Jen had already said that this level of dragon vein was no longer something that Chen Shang could destroy. Feng Yuji also never thought that Chen Zhang's dragon vein would become like this, and the one she used to possess, because she had absorbed a large amount of energy throughout the years, was not as good as Chen Zhang's. Fire Emperor suddenly shouted to the people beside him, "You're here, quickly move away from here." The Fire Emperor brought 10 experts and quickly spread out. It was just that the space domain that was not that close to Chen Shang suddenly became engulfed in flames, which quickly spread out like a sea of fire clouds covering the sky. The flames shone brightly, enveloping the sky above the dragon veins. This is the Fire God's Heaven Gate. Feng Yuji frowned. The people from Fire Divine Palace are coming down, this is a genuine Fire Divine Palace. Shui Shenxian asked anxiously, then what about Chen Shang? Chen Shang had also sensed the changes in his surroundings. He looked at Zhang Sheng's boat and said, "You guys stay far away from me. I'll be fine." Chen Zhang's voice was calm, with a hint of excitement, and especially the confident light that flashed in his eyes, it made everyone feel at ease. Zhang Sheng quickly controlled the boat and it left the area. A large vortex of flame appeared in the flame cloud in the sky and a large ball of fire descended from the vortex. The fire cloud suddenly disappeared, and the flames outside the fireball also gradually dissipated. Inside, a huge red frisbee appeared, and on it stood 3 men and 2 women. The man was tall and handsome, the woman was young and beautiful, slim and graceful. Among the 5, the man standing at the front had a stronger flame between his eyebrows, while the other 4 had weaker flames. It was obvious that the man had the strongest strength. Seeing these 5 people arrive, Fire Emperor and the rest immediately went up to pay their respects. "I am Wan Haiyan. From now on, all of you have to listen to my instructions." Wan Haiyan extended out his fingertip and touched the center of Fire Emperor's forehead, reading through the memories of Fire Emperor. Sensing that the Fire Emperor was resisting, he snorted coldly, "Cooperate." Accompanied by that cold snort, an extremely strong pressure appeared, causing Fire Emperor's body to tremble. Wan Haiyan and the rest were also very calm. Although they saw Chen Shang, they did not immediately take action but wanted to first understand what was happening. "HMPH, you even dare to call yourself a Fire Emperor?" After reading the memories of the Fire Emperor, Wan Haiyan snorted disdainfully, his handsome face revealing a disdainful smile, then looked at Chen Shang. "Eldest senior brother, this man is Chen Shang, someone who the Hell Devil Emperor couldn't even take away after losing billions of god coins. It's said that the God of Fortune and a few other God of Heaven have also lost close to 100 profound goddess. In the end, he was able to escape," a lady said to Wan Haiyan. Hearing the woman's words, L.V. Jen and the others who had some understanding of the God's realm were all shocked. Because L.V. Jen had heard about the matters of the God's realm from the Devil Killing Summit, he had also told the others that he knew about the concept of an God's money. Chen Shang had never told them about this before. They have lost close to 100 profound goddess and have yet to be captured. Feng Yuji's face was filled with shock. Just what did he do in divine prison? It was done by the old cyan bug. When the hundreds of profound goddess came down, the old cyan bug sent them away, but I never thought that they would be killed by the old cyan bug. The old cyan bug is really too powerful. I wonder what kind of outcome the old cyan bug will have after killing so many profound goddess. Long Shui sighed. L.V. Jen and the others knew who the old cyan bug Long Shui was referring to just by thinking about it. The strength of the Azure Dragon had also shocked them. Wan Haiyan placed his hands behind his back and stared at the Suzaku bow in Chen Zhang's hands, then said with a frown, "This is a divine weapon, it should have just been crafted not a few years ago. Although the refinement method is crude and the fire isn't enough, to the brats of this world, it is still considered not bad." After Chen Shang heard it, he sneered, "In the eyes of trash, everything is trash." The lady behind Wan Haiyan immediately shouted, "You arrogant brat, eldest senior brother is the eldest son of the great disciple of the fire god, deity Zihuo. What you just said was enough for you to die 100 times. Chen Shang laughed out loud. So what, if he has the ability, he would send out over 100 profound goddess to deal with it. Even if it's his father, I'm afraid that he wouldn't be able to use this kind of power, much less use billions of divine money against me. Damn, this old man has been chased by the Hell Devil Emperor for so many years and had never been afraid of him, let alone being the eldest son of a god. At most, he would just be a stronger true god. Wan Haiyan suddenly clenched his fist, wanting to attack Chen Shang, but at this time, an extremely charming laughter, like silver bells rang, causing people to be intoxicated. Even if the woman heard it, her heart would not be able to describe the feeling, and she could not help but have a very good impression of the laughter. When Zhang Sheng heard this laughter, his expression immediately became ugly, while Qi Shi snickered. Mei Emperor is here, Long Shui said softly, telling Lu Menger and Shui Shenxian who were beside him that they had never seen Mei Emperor before. When Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu heard the laughter, they clenched their jade fists. The 5 of you are all disciples of the 10,000 Purple Mountain, right? You must be the son of 10,000 Purple Mountain. You look too similar to him, and are very handsome. A white mist that emitted a light floated over, and turned into a beautiful woman wearing only a thin layer of muslin. Her chest was bare, and she was only wearing a slightly thick gauze wrapped around her waist, revealing some embarrassing things. Mei Emperor's perfect body was covered under the long, muslin dress. She was extremely alluring as she walked over with graceful steps while barefooted. Her pair of long legs and slender jade waist were all swaying rhythmically, and her chest, which was wrapped simply, moved up and down. The most amazing thing was her breathtakingly beautiful face. There was a very strange attraction on it that made it difficult for people to look away when they looked at her. Chen Shang could tell immediately that this was the Mei Emperor. He had originally thought that the Mei Emperor looked very similar to Feng Yuji, but now that he saw the Mei Emperor, he realized that the two of them had completely different faces. Chen Shang suddenly felt that it was worth it for Zhang Sheng to be tempted by this woman all those years ago. When the originally cold and proud Wan Haiyan saw the Mei Emperor walking over with a faint and charming smile, he couldn't help but be deeply attracted by her seductive figure. Although the 2 girls beside him were beautiful, he couldn't help but feel inferior in his heart, and at the same time, was a little jealous. Mei Emperor looked like she was about to walk towards Wan Haiyan, but who knew that she would suddenly turn and walk towards Chen Shang. There was a space domain outside of Chen Shang, which Mei Emperor could sense, so she did not go in. Instead, she took a few steps in the air and slowly arrived in front of Chen Shang. Everyone was looking at this scene seriously. Everyone knew how powerful the Mei Emperor was, that the 9 emperors who had just left had already returned. Seeing that the Mei Emperor had made his move, they all secretly calmed down, thinking that Chen Shang would definitely be captured by the Mei Emperor. Wan Haiyan was extremely unhappy. He knew that the Mei Emperor was truly powerful and he liked such a powerful woman very much. Just a moment ago, she was still talking to him, but now, she had walked up to Chen Shang and forced her way through. Although Chen Shang did not look at the Mei Emperor, he still carefully observed. He shockingly discovered that the Mei Emperor did not pay attention to Feng Yuji, so even if Feng Yuji was concealing his appearance now, they should still be able to sense each other. Chen Shang, I've finally met you today, it's been a long time since I've last seen you. The Mei Emperor laughed. You should be the famous Mei Emperor. I have seen you too, and have heard of you for a long time. Chen Shang actually laughed openly, as if he was truly flattering an expert. Everyone was startled, for Chen Shang to say such words to such a beauty was truly a disaster, even though what he said was the truth. With just a slight raise of her eyebrows, she sweetly smiled and said, as expected of a man whose name shakes the 9 heavens, he is indeed extraordinary. Chapter 1767. Chen Shang had been struck by Feng Yuji's charm power before, so when the Mei Emperor appeared, he was extremely cautious. At the same time that he used the soul lock technique, he also released a Taiji array outside his soul to protect it, and used the demon subduing heart formula to defend against the Mei Emperor's mental attacks. This was because Mei Emperor and Feng Yuji were the same, created by the 9th Heaven God King back in the day. Although they were heavily injured later on, it had already been so many years since they had recovered pretty well. 9th Miss, this person was speaking ill of you earlier. Let me help you teach him a lesson. Wan Haiyan suddenly came to Mei Emperor's side, he took out a golden sword and stared angrily at Chen Shang, and was about to attack. Mei Emperor shouted lightly, Sir Wan, please wait, I would like to see what he is doing. Wan Haiyan frowned. Of course he wants to destroy the dragon's vein, and doesn't let us obtain it. We better hurry up and take him down, and don't let him harm the dragon's vein. Originally, she worked for the Hell Devil Emperor, but now that she seemed to be connected to other gods, her status was not low either. That Wan Haiyan actually treated her with such respect, and even called her, Ninth Miss. Just now, the Mei Emperor tried to seduce Chen Shang, but she failed. Chen Zhang's heart was extremely firm, and it was difficult for her to do anything to him. Although she had failed before, at that time, her strength was relatively weak, and the people she wanted to seduce were all men who were not particularly interested in women. But Chen Shang was different. According to Mei Emperor's understanding of Chen Shang, although there weren't many women by his side, there were a few, which meant that Chen Shang was very interested in girls. Furthermore, those girls were all very playful in various aspects. Furthermore, Chen Shang had never seen her before, so Mei Emperor thought that Chen Shang was very easy to obtain. It was Chen Zhang's first time seeing the Mei Emperor, not bad, but he had been tempted by him before, and his cultivation was much stronger than the Mei Emperor's. Now, Chen Shang was still unable to completely shake off the enticing power of Feng Yuji, so even if he did not defend now, the Mei Emperor would not be able to tempt him. Chen Shang sneered at the Mei Emperor and said, I advise you to quickly distance yourself from me right now, because after I finish what I need to do here, I will kill you next. How dare you? Wan Haiyan, who was beside Mei Emperor, was immediately furious, but he did not attack, because Mei Emperor had used a tender jade hand to hold the back of his sword. Chen Shang was the eldest son of some kind of great disciple of the fire god. Even if he wasn't the profound god, he was still a relatively powerful true god, and he was actually so easily bewitched. I have no enmity with you, why do you want to kill me? Mei Emperor asked softly, her beautiful big eyes actually flickered with tears of grievance. She looked pitiful and delicate, but Chen Shang didn't take it lying down. Don't worry, before you die, I will definitely tell you. Chen Zhang's voice had a trace of killing intent, it was obvious that it was not an act. Mei Emperor was a huge threat to them in the first place, let alone their enemies. Even though they were stronger than before, they still did not have enough confidence to defeat Mei Emperor. Furthermore, Feng Yuji had warned them repeatedly, that there was a huge gap between them and Mei Emperor now. Seeing Chen Zhang's attitude towards Mei Emperor, Wan Haiyan was even more furious in his heart. Seeing that Mei Emperor did not stop him, he was overjoyed. The weakest amongst the gods is a true god, and this Wan Haiyan is a true god. In terms of God's realm, he isn't very strong, so Chen Shang should be aware of this fact. LV Gen said. Wan Haiyan originally thought that he could kill Chen Shang with a swing of his sword just as he charged over. Who knew that he would arrive at the other side of Chen Zhang's space domain? Wan Haiyan was alarmed and furious in his heart. He swung his sword and released a few waves of fire, but when it touched the exterior walls of the space domain, it was stolen from the other side of the domain, as if it had passed through a spatial gate. No one could even touch Chen Shang now, not even close to him. This is the power of the spatial laws, unless you possess the power of the upper true god, it will be difficult to shake him. Mei Emperor sighed lightly, I didn't expect him to be this much stronger than I had expected. All of you come over here and attack him together. I don't believe that I won't be able to break through his defenses. He is just a small saint. We are all gods. Wan Haiyan shouted to his junior brother and sister who came with him. In the blink of an eye, the flames in the air zigzagged horizontally and were covered densely in fiery clouds. From time to time, huge palms would appear and slap towards Chen Shang from all directions. With this attack, a thick layer of soil underneath was lifted up and burned into ashes. After the layer of dirt above the dragon vein disappeared, the dragon vein's head was clearly visible. The silver-white dragon's mouth slightly opened, and its eyes actually flickered with a faint green light, as if it had a sliver of spirit energy. Right now, it was only showing the dragon's head and its body was still buried underneath. There was an energy barrier very far away from the dragon's head, and Chen Shang was unable to break it. Just now, when Wan Haiyan had accidentally struck that barrier, he was also unable to move. The dragon head is a lot smaller. Chen Shang frowned. Back then, when this dragon vein was still at the immortal stone grade, it was like a huge mountain. Qi Shi said. What's going on, why has the dragon head become so small? Huang Jintian shook his head. Even though the dragon head is small, it is still very powerful. With the current level of defense, even the gods would find it hard to move. Seeing the dragon head, the Mei Emperor immediately dove down. Wan Haiyan reacted and quickly followed. However, when the two of them came into contact with that layer of defense, they were repelled by an extremely violent force. Even if they reacted, they weren't injured by the shockwave. Is this a dragon vein? If I can release divine power, then this dragon vein can also be considered a naturally formed divine artifact. A bolt of lightning suddenly flashed and descended, only to see a big-sized man floating above Chen Shang. The Temple of Thunder. Wan Haiyan frowned. This guy is not easy to deal with. The man looked at Wan Haiyan and laughed out loud. Isn't this the son of 10,000 Purple Mountain? Just as Wan Haiyan was about to answer, he saw Chen Shang rushing towards the dragon vein below and shouted anxiously, "Stop him, don't let him enter the dragon's head." Mei Emperor also shouted, "Liao Ming, quickly stop him." The man named Liao Ming laughed and said, "Why should I listen to you? He is Chen Shang." Wan Haiyan said anxiously. He couldn't do anything to Chen Shang either, but he felt that Chen Shang could enter the protection barrier around the dragon vein. Liao Ming laughed out loud. "He is Chen Shang, what does he have to do with me? Before I came down, Thunder God had already instructed me not to get involved with this evil sect kid at all." At this moment, everyone's eyes were focused on Chen Shang. Chen Shang was getting closer and closer to the dragon vein's protective shield. Chapter 1768. Feng Yuji was right, the God's realm's restriction on the Nine-Heaven world no longer forbade the gods from coming. There were even powers installed here to exert their influence and control over the Nine-Heaven world. Right now, the most important thing for Chen Shang was this dragon vein. This could be said to be his, and it had already been occupied by someone for many years. When Chen Shang was near the defensive barrier of the dragon vein, the space domain he released suddenly disappeared. It was not because he kept it, but because it was affected by some unknown force and dissipated. He did not use any more power, but when he touched the dragon vein's barrier, he easily entered. Seeing that, everyone was shocked, because this meant that Chen Shang had a high chance of controlling the dragon vein. Just a moment ago, Liao Ming from the Thunder God Hall said that this was a naturally formed treasure. Chen Shang was currently floating in front of the dragon's head, staring at the dragon's vein with its pair of pale green eyes. "You've grown so fast. I didn't expect that after so long, you would almost not recognize me." Chen Shang reached out his hand, and gently caressed the dragon head. The dragon's eyes suddenly flashed with green light and started to react. Seeing this scene, the Mei Emperor was extremely nervous. She knew well how powerful the DTN dragon veins were, and Chen Shang was not controlled by her. On the contrary, she was extremely hostile to her. "Go get those women, hurry up," Mei Emperor suddenly said to Wan Haiyan. "Inside here is Chen Zhang's wife and recognized sister. As long as we capture them, we can threaten Chen Shang." All of the images that came from the Mei Emperor suddenly appeared in Wan Haiyan's mind, and he immediately knew that Shui Shenxian and Lu Meng'er were extremely close, and that she was Chen Zhang's woman. After Feng Yuji heard the Mei Emperor's words, she immediately stepped forward and waved her hand, releasing a large purple ball of fire. The purple ball of fire transformed into a huge purple qilin, letting out many roars. Stepping on the purple fire wave, it welcomed the 5 true gods who had just descended from God's realm. "It's you." Only now did Mei Emperor realize Feng Yuji was there, and only now did she see Su Meiyao and Bai Yu. It was not because she did not notice them before, but because Feng Yuji had covered them up with a strange power previously. "You're still the same as always wanting to use this poison tactic." The purple fire unicorn she released was extremely powerful, actually making Wan Haiyan retreat several steps, and was unable to take a step forward. Mei Emperor felt that it was very troublesome. She never thought that Feng Yuji would be here, and that he would be so powerful. Suddenly, the Mei Emperor sensed a powerful and scorching chi approaching her. She anxiously dodged an arrow that shot down from below. It was Chen Shang who had pulled the Suzaku bow to attack her. "Most of them are on my side. Forget about others. Just because you, Chen Shang, are in possession of this dragon vein, they will not let you get away with it. Furthermore, Hell Devil Emperor's bounty for you is still effective." Mei Emperor's voice turned cold, no longer as tender and sweet as before. Chen Shang laughed coldly. "I don't care if all divine palaces comes to the Nine-Heaven world, but if you want to steal my dragon fountain, and rely on brute force to notify Juju, don't blame me for that." Chen Shang pulled the Suzaku bow, and shot an arrow at the evil emperor in the distance. Evil emperor did not attack him with this arrow at all, and when he found out, his body had already been penetrated, and his soul had already been severely injured by the power of this arrow. What made the Mei Emperor angry was that Chen Shang had released 8 more arrows at the same time, each to attack the other 8 emperors of the holy nations, and all of them were crippled by Chen Zhang's arrows. If the emperors of the holy nations were to work together with the all-divine palaces, they would be able to make the divine halls dominate the 9 heavens. However, they were all crippled by Chen Shang, so it was obvious that they did not want the divine halls to easily take over the power of the 10 great holy nations. When you guys attacked the evil dragon graveyard and took over my dragon fountain, you should have thought of this day. Chen Zhang's voice, which carried a trace of anger, resounded in everyone's ears like a clap of thunder. Since you are all lackeys from Hell Devil Emperor, I will send you all to meet him and greet him on my behalf. Standing at the dragon fountain, Chen Shang punched towards the sky. 9 bolts of lightning suddenly descended, and the lightning that flashed was like a dragon, struck onto the bodies of the 9 holy nations' emperors, turning their bodies into powder. However, Chen Shang did not destroy their souls, but rather allowed them to go to hell. As soon as Chen Shang killed these emperor of the holy nations, a strong pressure appeared in the sky and all kinds of colored clouds floated over. Retreat! A loud shout came from afar, and a fireball struck over, smashing onto the purple fire unicorn that Feng Yuji had released, destroying the purple fire unicorn. In every corner of the sky, there were many deities that were emitting a blinding light. They had all just descended from God's realm, and Mei Emperor was their guide. Seeing the strong reinforcements coming, Mei Emperor, who was still a little worried a moment ago, heaved a sigh of relief in his heart. He said to the god Chen Shang, "Quickly capture the boat people, as long as we capture them, we can threaten Chen Shang." There were dozens of gods in the sky. Although there were no profound goddess, there were a few upper true goddess and the others were all gods. As soon as these gods arrived, the Mei Emperor immediately sent a sound transmission to them, telling them everything that had just happened. When they heard that Chen Shang wanted to control the dragon's vein, these gods were extremely anxious and did as the Mei Emperor told them. After all, they all followed Zhang Sheng's boat. Chen Shang was still waiting for the dragon fountain to fully awaken. Seeing the boat surrounded, he was extremely anxious. "If you dare to continue forward, I will summon the 9 Heaven Devil Palace." Chen Shang suddenly took out 7 Chaos Fire tokens and raised them up high. Feng Yuji anxiously transmitted to Chen Shang, "Don't be rash, summon out the 9 Heaven Devil Palace. We are also in danger, we can handle this group of people." Chen Shang knew that Feng Yuji was very strong, but he was still worried because he knew that Shui Shenxian and the rest were all on that boat. The 4 words, 9 Heaven Devil Palace, indeed had a lot of deterrence power. When the gods heard it, they felt fear in their hearts, especially when they saw the 7 Chaos Fire tokens in Chen Zhang's hands, they fell silent. "Move far away from here, or else we'll go to the 9 Heaven Devil Palace together." Chen Shang continued to shout. Mei Emperor bit her lips, she never thought that Chen Shang would actually have this kind of skill. As a being created by the 9 divine kings back then, she was very clear of how powerful he was. Everyone has already been sealed as gods, they also have a reputation in the gods' realm, you can still chase after threats like this. Moreover, you have to deal with these weak semi-gods, once the news spread to the gods' realm, aren't you afraid of getting laughed at? A white mist floated over and there were more than 10 white-robed women on top. The one who spoke was the beautiful woman standing in front of them. Her voice was hoarse, but it carried a sense of deterrence. "Divine Female Palace." Mei Emperor snorted. "Back then, you were all opposed to entering the 9 Heaven world. What are you doing here now? The majority of the all-divine palaces actually supported us, it's useless even if we object. Although we object, it doesn't mean that we won't come to the 9 Heaven world, furthermore, everyone is here, why can't we?" The beautiful woman from the Divine Female Palace smiled, "Although you were created by the 9 divine kings, you are not the 9 Heavens goddess." Hearing about the 9 Heavens goddess, Chen Shang more or less understood that the goddess of the 9 Heavens could very likely be Feng Yuji. "Chen Shang, quickly put away the Chaos Fire token. I want you to guarantee that this boatman won't be harmed in the slightest, you don't have to summon the 9 Heaven Devil Palace." Although this beautiful woman from the Divine Female Palace looked very calm, when she mentioned the 9 Heaven Devil Palace, she couldn't hide the fear in her eyes. Feng Yuji and Chen Shang had mentioned the Divine Female Palace before. It was a relatively neutral divine palace above the gods' realm, and they were all made up of women. Its power was also relatively strong, so Chen Shang had more trust in the Divine Female Palace. Wan Haiyan said, "This dragon vein must be used equally, we cannot let him monopolize it." Chen Shang sneered. If you can prove that the 9-heaven world or this dragon vein was created by you guys, I will immediately leave this dragon vein. You better run far away, and get the hell back to your god's realm. Otherwise, when my dragon vein wakes up, I will kill you first and use your blood as a sacrifice to awaken it. Wan Haiyan was furious. He was a true god, but he was actually looked down upon by Chen Shang in such a way. An elder in the sky said, 9-heaven world is already a mature world, and we need order to maintain it. Being able to make this world more equal, prosperous, and peaceful is also the reason why we are here. Chen Shang said in a cold voice, if you hadn't come, this place would have been even better. At that time, if you hadn't interfered, this place would have already flourished, perhaps even surpassing the god's realm. You clearly know just how many sins Hell Devil Emperor has committed here. Let's go. Before he left, he still left behind a few words. Chen Shang, you will go to God's realm sooner or later. At that time, you will pay the price for what you said today. I will go. I will let you all know just how serious the consequences are for condoning Hell Devil Emperor. Chen Shang was not afraid at all, he had heard this kind of thing too many times. With the departure of the gods, they naturally did not return to the god's realm, but to follow him and leave the dragon vein, they had to be especially cautious with the 9-heaven devil palace. All of you should leave. I don't know what will happen here either. Chen Shang descended from the dragon's head and floated in front of the dragon's head, staring straight into its eyes. Zhang Sheng controlled the boat to quickly fly away, and the various goddesses of the divine female palace followed behind the boat, quickly leaving the ruined great sage city. Chen Shang did not know what the dragon vein would do next, he only knew that he needed to wait patiently here. Chapter 1769. Originally, it should have benefited the 9-heaven world. However, right now, it has been coveted by the divine halls, and if it is taken over by those powerful forces and their control over the dragon veins, the rest of the 9-heaven world will not benefit from it. Quote. Chen Shang floated in front of the dragon's head, patiently waiting for the next change in the dragon's vein, while thinking about the formation of the dragon's vein. He felt that the reason why dragon veins kept appearing was definitely not a coincidence. It must have been arranged by the 9 divine kings back then, and they had long since set it up here. In the past, Qi Shi also obtained a dragon vein, but it was destroyed later on, and an even more powerful one developed. Other than this, there was another dragon vein that was occupied by Feng Yuji. Feng Yuji knew that the place had dragon veins, obviously he had heard it from the 9 divine kings. What will happen next? According to my intuition, I should be able to fuse with this dragon fountain. Chen Shang thought like this. The energy contained in this dragon vein was extremely strong, and he felt that he might not even be able to eat it, so when he thought about it, he felt that it was somewhat impossible. Just as Chen Shang was thinking about the matter regarding the dragon fountain, he suddenly heard a voice from inside the divine sense sea. Of course you can't fuse with me with your current power. Even Empyrean gods might not be able to subdue me. This voice was somewhat tender, just like a youth's. Although Chen Shang was shocked by what he heard, he immediately understood that it was the voice of the dragon vein. The dragon vein had actually opened its spirit and gained its own consciousness. In other words, the dragon vein was no longer just like a stone. Soon, the purple monkey would turn into a living creature that could soar through the 9 heavens. You are the dragon fountain? Chen Shang asked in shock. That's right, you should have been my master originally. You should have merged me before I was even growing up so that I could make you stronger. I have been waiting for you for many years, but you just arrived now. I don't know why, but I am getting stronger and stronger now, and I don't want you to fuse with me. The dragon vein said. Chen Shang said. Don't worry, I won't force you, after all, you have helped us become strong for a period of time. I will remember this favor, as long as you do not fall into an evil trap. You were born from the 9th heaven, with your current strength, you should be the guardian of this place. I have 9 fathers, and the consciousness they sent me was the same as well. However, they did not directly ask me to protect them, and instead wanted me to help a human that I approved of become stronger. Dragon Mai said, but it seems like I can't do it now. I've violated them. Chen Shang knew how complicated the dragon bloodline was in his heart now that it had grown to this point. It was normal for it to have its own thoughts, and adding the yearning it had for the outside world, he would be able to understand it. As long as you can protect the 9 heaven world, it doesn't count as going against them. This is your 9 fathers' final goal, it doesn't matter what the method is, as long as you can do it. Chen Shang continued to instruct the young dragon. I understand now, thank you for understanding me. You are the first human I've seen since I've awakened. Before, when I was still sleeping, I vaguely recognized you. I'm not mistaken, why don't you give me a name? Chen Shang thought for a moment, then said, you can be considered a dragon now, that surname is long, it's called Nine Heavens, I'll call it Dragon Nine Heavens. If Long Shuiyi was here, he would definitely argue with Chen Shang because of the name. I know your name is Chen Shang. A lot of people were shouting about you just now. Long Ju smiled. Although I can't merge with you, I can still help you become a little stronger. I'll have to separate from the earth later. At that time, the earth's core will spew out a power that can make your body stronger. Chen Zhang's current physical body was not strong enough, only at the level of the purple gold bone, but his goal was the jade bone. To have such a chance, it would be best if he could, if he wanted to become a true god, he would need to cultivate the jade bone. Alright, Chen Shang nodded. He had just agreed when Long Ju suddenly roared and rushed into the clouds. The entire body of the dragon suddenly shot out, and the deep hole spewed out a strong surge of heat, accompanied by a burst of intense flames. Chen Shang, who was at the side, was immediately sucked in by the heat. The earth's core is repairing itself and absorbing the energy that is gushing out. Before entering the earth's core, you must hurry up and come up, otherwise, it will be very dangerous for you to go to the earth's core. Long Ju's voice came from above. It wasn't that Chen Shang had never gone to the core of the earth before, it was just that the core of the earth was much weaker than the core of the earth now. The reason why DTN had become so strong now was mainly because the core of the earth was becoming stronger and stronger. Therefore, right now, he was not sure if the profound WU diamond armor on his body could still allow him to be like a fish in water in the heart of the earth. The fire dragon sword was also created by the 9 divine kings in the past. No wonder when I was in the earth's core that year, after I took out the fire dragon sword, all of the magma in the earth's core retreated. I wonder if it is still effective now. Chen Shang wanted to give it a try. Right now, the earth's core was also very mysterious to him. The last time he went to the earth's core, he killed a earth tree. Alright, let's go to the core. Chen Shang was slowly being pulled down by a strong suction force inside the tunnel, and a strange kind of scorching energy was being continuously absorbed by his body. What's with this heat? Although it's very painful, but it also has a bit of a pain-relieving power. Chen Shang couldn't tell if he was in pain or not, he just felt a little numb in his body. Suddenly, he felt pain, but the pain quickly disappeared as it quickly changed places again. A moment later, Long Ju's urgent shout came from the sky, hurry up. I want to go to the earth's core to have a look. It'll be fine, go take a look for now, if you can find someone called Huang Jintian, let him teach you something, he's my master. Chen Shang said. The earth's core is very dangerous and very scary. If you stay below, you will die. Long Ju was extremely worried, and Chen Shang could also feel the energy undulations from his body. He was actually going to use that powerful force to pull him up. Don't worry, I have magical equipment to protect myself. I've been to the earth's core before. Chen Shang said anxiously, he was afraid that he would miss this chance, if not, he would have to go to the center of the earth. Alright, I will look for Huang Jintian now. After Long Ju finished speaking, he disappeared. When the dragon veins left the ground, they created a huge sky ditch, and Chen Shang also went into the center of the earth from the sky ditch. When the geocentric eclipse closed the hole, a large amount of lava surged out, filling up the entire pit. There was even a large amount of fire that was multicolored, even black and gold, that enveloped the entire holy city. If Chen Shang saw this, he would definitely find this very familiar, because this was Earth's core fire realm. Chapter 1770. Even though the god and Zhang Shang, the boat that came down from God's realm, was already far away from the dragon vein, they could still sense a scorching aura from there. This feeling is very familiar, very similar to the Earth's core fire realm. Zhang Shang said. He was very sensitive to flames, and he also had research on Earth's core fire realm. Could Chen Shang have taken away the dragon vein? Qi Shi said, how powerful are the dragon veins? Those gods are unshakable, if Chen Shang that kid were to obtain them, wouldn't he be very strong? The beautiful woman from the divine female palace said, Chen Zhang's current strength is still insufficient to withstand the power of the dragon vein. Even I, or the god of heaven, might not be able to. Feng Yuji sighed. The growth of this dragon vein is very abnormal, it has already surpassed the growth rate set by the 9 divine kings back then, I don't even know how it will change. LV Kilian suddenly shouted, "There's a very strong guy approaching us." At this time, everyone had also sensed it and immediately became alert. Even the powerful beautiful woman from Divine Female Palace had a serious face, because this aura made her feel a lot of pressure. Just as everyone was feeling extremely nervous, a silver-clothed youth with a jade-like face suddenly appeared in front of them. "Do any of you know where Huang Jintian is?" This youth was Long Ju. Everyone was extremely astonished. This was merely a youth, yet his strength was this great. Fortunately, he did not have any enmity towards her, so he only came here to find her. Huang Jintian racked his brains, but he didn't think that he would meet such a strong person. The cat he was familiar with was also a teenager, but it wasn't as powerful. "I am. Do you have any business with me? Do we know each other?" Huang Jintian stood out and asked. "I am Long Ju, it was Chen Shang who told me to come find you. Because I just arrived in this world for a few days, I don't understand many things, and I need to find someone to consult. He said that you are his master, so he let me come." The youth said to Huang Jintian. The people on this ship weren't stupid. At the same time, they thought of one possibility. "Your name is Long Ju." Long Shui said, "Could it be that you are a dragon and I am also a dragon? But the aura on your body is different from mine. The name was chosen for me by Chen Shang. My dragon body's structure is different from yours, my dragon body is mainly born from the core of the earth, and your dragon body should have been born from primal chaos energy." Long Ju said. Long Shui muttered, "The matter of me choosing a name should be left to me, Chen Shang this guy." LV Kilian asked, "If that's the case, then what about Chen Shang, why didn't he come along with you?" Feng Yuji asked worriedly, "Did something happen to Chen Shang?" Dongfang Xinue was right beside him. She said, "He's fine. If he's got anything to do, then I'll be fine as well." This was because she and Chen Zhang's master-servant contract had not been removed, so if Chen Shang died, she would die too. Chen Shang is fine, he just fell into the center of the earth. Long Ju's face was filled with suspicion, he did not know why these people suspected that something was amiss with Chen Shang. Everyone immediately cursed in their hearts. He was still calling himself fine after falling to the earth's core. Zhang Sheng, Huang Jintian and Qi Shi all knew the current core of the earth very well, because they had already tried to enter the core of the earth when they were at the bottom of the Yuming Deep Abyss. However, those passages were already blocked, so even if they weren't blocked, the heat would not be something they could resist. "What? Chen Shang fell into the center of the earth?" This was Long Huishan's voice. Chen Shang was her little brother, and she knew how powerful Geofruit was, so how could she not be anxious? At this time, Long Huishan was rushing over with a large group of powerful ice dragons. Seeing so many ice dragons arrive, Long Ju suddenly felt a very warm feeling in his heart. He said that he was going to the Earth's core. He was not willing to come up when I told him to. Long Ju said, "You guys really don't have to worry. Chen Shang has Fire Dragon Sword S and Profound WU Diamond Armor S on him, enough for him to deal with Earth Heart's terrible environment. Although we are a bit stronger than him, without the Fire Dragon Sword S, we might not be able to survive in Earth Heart." Feng Yuji said. She still had a certain level of understanding towards the Nine Dragons' Holy Sword. Long Huishan asked, "Just what happened?" "Big sister, I'll tell you." Leng Yulan pulled Shui Shenxian and flew over, telling him everything. Long Ju listened on from the side. At this time, everyone decided to go to the Divine Feather Holy Nations first before discussing their future matters. After Chen Shang fell into the core of the earth, he took out Fire Dragon Sword S and released them. Just like the last time, all the lava here avoided him and he did not sense any scorching power either. In that last moment, my body did indeed become much stronger, but I have not yet stepped past the level of the purple gold skeleton. I need to cultivate in jade bones. According to Long Ju's estimations, that one blow just now should have been able to make Chen Zhang's body become very strong, but he did not know that Chen Zhang's body was very special. This course should be DTN's secret. I'll go deeper in and take a look. Chen Shang dove deeper into the ground. He had yet to go deeper into the heart of the earth, so he took the opportunity to explore more. After diving continuously into the depths of the earth for an entire day, Chen Shang finally lost his patience. Just as he was about to give up, he suddenly bumped into something extremely hard. There was actually a wall here. Chen Shang was pleasantly surprised and immediately followed the wall. He suspected it was more than a wall. It could be a building. The building beneath this core was definitely not ordinary. Although it looked like ordinary blue bricks, they had not melted under this core for a long time. It was clear that these blue bricks were not ordinary bricks. Chen Shang went up and down the building a few times, and determined that it was an outer wall of a building, which was around 100 meters tall. Now, he started to look for the entrance to the building. This building was wrapped in lava and had been this way for a long time. This made Chen Shang even more curious about who built this building and why they built it here. He quickly guessed that the 9 divine kings was the one that was built by them all those years ago. It was very possible that they were the ones who created the 9 heaven world. It took him half a day to find a door. If I open the gate, wouldn't the lava flow in? Chen Shang was still considering whether or not he should open the door. After thinking about it, he felt that the creator of this building must have definitely considered this question before, so there definitely wouldn't be anything that he was worried about. He considered this for a moment, then pushed open the door. Although the door was big, Chen Shang did not expend much effort to push it open, and very easily opened up a gap in the door. Just as he had expected, after the door was opened a crack, a force emanated from within that could prevent the scorching lava from flowing in. Chen Shang did not completely open the door, he only opened a crack large enough for him to enter. After entering, the door slowly closed. He was now in a large passage. On both sides of the passage, there were 2 neat rows of flame pillars that lit up the entire passage. It should have been built by the 9 divine kings. These things are all very ancient. The moment Chen Shang entered, he could feel the ancient aura. The interior of the mysterious palace that was hidden in the earth's core was unexpectedly very cool. Although it was very quiet and eerie here, Chen Shang wasn't afraid. Chen Shang walked to the end of the path and saw another big door. After opening it, he came to a big hall. In the middle of the hall was a big round jade table. Beside the jade table were 9 jade chairs. This made Chen Shang even more certain that this was the 9 divine kings that had built this place. Feng Yuji should know about this palace. Chen Shang carefully observed the hall. Other than the jade tables and chairs, the rest of the things were ordinary things made of stone. Chen Shang did not open the box in the middle of the round jade table but instead walked around the round table. The fellow monk looked carefully at the 9 chairs, and after he walked around, he realized that there was a groove on the back of each of the 7 chairs, and upon seeing the groove, he subconsciously took out a Tianlong sword which could actually fit inside. In other words, there are 2 chairs here without grooves. Could it be that the poisonous dragon sword and the jade dragon sword are still here? Chen Zhang's heart was beating wildly. When we first gathered, this 7 dragon's sword was the one that guided me to a place. Could it be here? Chen Shang immediately took out all the other 7 dragon's swords and inserted them into the grooves on each of the chairs. What happened? Why is there no reaction? Chen Shang waited at the side for a moment and realized that there was no movement. Could it be that each sword has a different slot? After Chen Shang pulled out the 7 dragon's sword, he carefully observed those chairs, and finally found some clues. Every chair had a leg that had some ancient characters, similar to those on the 7 dragon's sword. There shouldn't be a mistake this time. Chen Shang compared the ancient characters, and once again inserted the 7 dragon's swords one by one. When he put in the last sword, the 9 jade chairs and the huge jade round table suddenly lit up with a pale white glow. Chen Shang anxiously retreated a few steps. Because of the powerful force, he had no choice but to retreat. The next scene caused Chen Shang to widen his eyes. On the 9 chairs, 9 people with long hair that reached their waists appeared. They wore white robes, and their appearances were enveloped by a ball of faint white light, not allowing to see his appearance. Could this be the 9 divine kings? Chen Shang exclaimed in his heart. He had already seen that the people in front of him were just images, and were only conveying some information. If only Feng Yuji was here, she might have known more than me. After Chen Shang thought about it, he wanted to open a spatial passageway and drag Feng Yuji over. Who knew that his spatial strength would be ineffective here? The 9 of them sat on chairs, not saying a word, as if they were waiting for something. Suddenly, a figure floated over. It was a woman, and it was none other than the Mei Emperor. She was standing behind a divine king. Chapter 1771, was just a little surprised to see Mei Emperor appear. He already knew from Feng Yuji that Mei Emperor had been with her since the beginning. At first, their relationship was very good, but later, they betrayed the 9 divine kings. Until now, Chen Shang still could not understand why Mei Emperor would betray her. Even Feng Yuji, was something she herself could not explain. Chen Shang continued to look at the commotion in front of him, only to see one of the divine kings wave his hand, signaling the May Emperor to retreat. The May Emperor was a little unwilling, so he snorted in a spoiled manner and walked out. At this time, all the 9 divine kings opened their arms wide, as if they were arranging a barrier. Chen Shang felt that they would have to discuss some very important matters in the future. Among the younger 9 girls, one of them must have been controlled and should have died a long time ago. Her spirit body has already been devoured. A god king sitting in the seat of honor said, his face revealing a trace of sorrow. Who do you think it is? The other 8 celestial kings all had rather grim looks on their faces. Clearly, they knew about this as well, but they had yet to confirm who had betrayed them. Daju and Xiaoju were Feng Yuji and May Emperor. It's Xiaoju. Even if her performance just now was out of character for her, Elder 9 girl is very sensible and knows that we cannot enter this conference room. Xiaoju has been running here with us recently, obviously wanting to eavesdrop on our conversation. Another god king said. Feng Yuji was the Elder 9 girl. Chen Shang had already found out why May Emperor betrayed him, and it turned out that 9 divine kings did not notice. The May Emperor was controlled by the enemy using powerful means. This is bad for our next plan. The leader of the Celestial Kings said, it's already pretty good that we're able to reach this step. The rest is up to the 9 heavens' luck. Another God King nodded and said, it's time for us to withdraw and end this boring dispute, allowing outstanding creatures to shine in this brand new world. A rather muscular Celestial King pointed to the jade box on the table and asked, the chicken younger 9 girl is not her anymore, so there is no need to give this supreme god bone to her. The other god kings all nodded. That great divine lord said, Elder 9 girl already possesses the supreme sacred bone, I do not wish for her to protect this land in the future. I only hope that she can escape this calamity and live a good life. Just as great divine lord finished speaking, they suddenly stood up. It's time for us to face them. Then, they started to shake. Their chairs suddenly shot out 7 rays of light. One was the 7 dragons' sword flying out, the other was the divine king throwing out a book. Chen Shang recognized that book. It was the divine book that recorded all the refining methods and arrays. The 4 symbols divine weapons was created from this divine book. The image at the back was extremely chaotic. Chen Shang only saw the 9 divine kings leaving in a hurry. The jade box with the supreme god bone on the table did not move. Could it be that this is the last time the 9 divine kings talked to them? After they finished talking, they went to the 9 Heaven Devil Palace. Then where is this place? Could this be the legendary 9 Heaven Devil Palace? Chen Shang shivered, but when he thought about it carefully, he felt that that wasn't the case. If it were the 9 Heaven Devil Palace, he would definitely be facing many dangers right now. What is a supreme god bone? Feng Yuji also has this thing, it should be very strong. Chen Shang walked over and pulled out all the 9 dragon sacred swords. Now, he already knew that the 9 dragons' holy swords' true function was to record the contents of the 9 divine kings' meeting here, but he could only see the last part of it. Let's see what this supreme god bone is. Chen Shang opened the jade box. There were no bones inside, only a mass of silver white mud that looked soft and emitted a multicolored light. This is the supreme god bone. What exactly is it? It should have been stored for many years. Chen Shang did not sense any qi. He poked it with his finger, and suddenly felt a sharp pain in his finger, as if it had been pricked with needles. Feeling the great pain, he immediately retracted his finger, only to find that the silver-white ball of mud was tightly sucking him in. At the same time, he could feel a large amount of blood flowing out of his finger at lightning speed. This sudden occurrence caused him to be extremely shocked. Originally, he only thought that it was bone or something like that, but who would have thought that it would actually be so deadly? Especially the speed at which the blood was being sucked, it seemed to be able to completely suck him dry. Just when he wanted to cut off his fingers, he suddenly felt something drilling into his fingers and entering his body. At this moment, the pain in his fingers had already lessened. He could also feel something entering his body, entering his bones, fusing into his bones at an extremely fast speed. In just a moment, it had spread throughout his entire body. Just what is this thing? Chen Shang looked at his fingers, and all the silvery white mud had already drilled into his body. He didn't take any more of his blood, and he didn't feel any more pain. He was relieved, but then something terrifying happened. A layer of silvery white appeared on the surface of one of his hands, as if it was covered in a thin layer of ice. At first it was only the hand, but then it spread all over him, freezing him as if he were frozen. Even so, Chen Shang did not feel any discomfort. His entire body was wrapped in this silver-white layer of ice, and he stood there in a daze. Chen Shang could clearly feel that the bones in his body seemed to be shattering bit by bit. However, there was no pain, and only after shattering, they started to reform again, repeating like this over and over again. Don't tell me this is the benefit of the Supreme God Bone. If I were to fuse with this, I would have that Supreme God Bone. What exactly is this thing? Chen Shang really wanted to know what use the Supreme God Bone had, but he knew that it was definitely something good. The 2 sets of Supreme God Bone were prepared by the 9 divine kings for Feng Yuji and the Mei Emperor. However, after the Mei Emperor was under the control of the enemy, one of them was left behind. This thing must be special, I have to ask Feng Yuji about it in the future. Chen Shang was wrapped up by the strange silver-white skin and could not move at all. Only his eyeballs could move. What surprised him was that he actually saw a flash of red light. This red light was obviously from the lava. After he had integrated with the Supreme God Bone, the palace had actually lost its defensive capabilities and was crushed by the powerful lava. It's over, Chen Shang shouted in his heart. At this time, he could not use any strength at all, and he did not know why the god power hidden in the divine sense sea was sealed. Just as he was worrying, a red light flashed in front of his eyes. The entire palace had collapsed due to the impact of the lava, and he was surrounded by fiery red lava. He did not use the fire dragon sword and the profound Wu diamond armor, and was at a place very deep in the earth's core where he thought he was dead for sure. Now that he was wrapped in some lava, he didn't feel any heat. The thin layer of silvery white was so powerful that it could block out such a degree of heat. And so, Chen Shang continued in this state for a month. A month later, he suddenly felt that his skin was a bit loose, and he could also move it now. With just a little bit of force, he was able to break through that layer of silvery white skin. It's scalded to death, Chen Shang shouted in his heart, and then took out his fire dragon sword, ordering the lava to retreat. Chen Shang was pleasantly surprised at this moment, because that one strike had let him know how terrifying his body was. After being scalded, he only felt a burning pain on his skin. He immediately took out a set of clothes and put it on. After carefully examining his body, he discovered that all of his bones had turned silvery white. They were no longer the purple gold bones from before. What's going on? Could it be that the Supreme God Bone is stronger than jade bones? Chen Shang was certain that his own bones had undergone a huge change, and his flesh had become extremely powerful. He thought for a moment and suddenly understood that the reason he was able to break open the silver shell that had been covering him for a month was not because the shell had lost its effect, but because his strength had increased. My physical body has already surpassed the jade bone rank. In that case, I will soon become a true god. Chen Shang was extremely excited. As long as he could become a true god, he would be able to go to the god's realm. Chen Shang activated the fire dragon sword, allowing it to release even more power, allowing more space to surround him. This way, it would be convenient for him to use the power of space to open up a spatial tunnel. First, go back and ask Feng Yuji and see how father is doing right now. Then, decide whether or not you should go and find father. Chen Shang opened the spatial tunnel and left Earth's core, arriving outside the divine feather holy nations. Chen Shang, who had the Supreme God Bone, felt a different kind of powerful force. Previously, the strong power he had came from the powers in the divine sense sea, and it was supported by his soul, divine deity and divine power. However, he was prepared to condense a soul spark inside his soul so that he could combine all 3 of them together and become a true god. After Chen Shang entered the Divine Feather Imperial Palace, he found out that Feng Yuji was not there but had gone to the Divine Female Palace. After inquiring about the people in charge of the Divine Feather Imperial Palace, Chen Shang finally understood that in this past month, many shrines had descended from the god's realm. Many of the big shots in the great powers had all sided with these shrines. Feng Yuji joined the Divine Female Palace. Feng Yuji should be a goddess of the 9th heaven, and she also possesses a supreme god bone, she should be a god as well. If she were to also join the Divine Female Palace, Shenxian and Munger's decision to join might be a good one, since they would be very safe inside, and the power of the Divine Female Palace should not be small in the god's realm. Even the god of fortune had decided to make a move on him. If Shui Shenxian and the others could join a good shrine, it would greatly reduce his worries. Chen Shang had never thought that he would be able to get his hands on such a strong person. Chapter 1772. The Divine Female Palace occupied a land that was the size of a city, and was surrounded by thick and tall city walls. In the middle, there was a 10-story tall wooden tower, and that was the divine female palace. It looked very ordinary on the surface, and did not give off the feeling of a palace. However, the defense of the entire palace was extremely strong, so Chen Shang could sense the powerful array formation that enveloped the entire city from afar. At the gate of the city stood 2 sturdy women in white armor. Their faces were cold and serious, and their auras were also very powerful. Men, stop. Seeing Chen Shang coming closer, one of the guards spoke up. I'm looking for Feng Yuji. Can you inform him for me? Chen Shang replied politely. I'll just say it's Chen Shang who is looking for her. Although Chen Shang had never been to the God's realm, he was already rather famous in the God's realm. The matter of Hell Devil Emperor and many other goddess in the shrine joining hands to capture Chen Shang had caused quite a sensation in the God's realm, as they had not captured Chen Shang at that time and had suffered great losses. This matter was still unfathomable to date. A female guard took out a communication treasure to send the message, and a moment later, Feng Yuji hurried out. Come, let's talk somewhere else. Feng Yuji seemed to have a lot of things to say to Chen Shang. At first, it was Feng Yuji who brought Chen Shang flying, but behind, it was Chen Shang who pulled her, opening a spatial passageway and arrived at the huge cave beneath the Yuming Deep Abyss. Where are Shenxian and the rest? Chen Shang asked. I wasn't with you. Feng Yuji laughed tenderly. You're so concerned about your wife, don't you want to ask me about it? Chen Shang curled his lips and asked, what's there to ask? You're so powerful, what can possibly happen to you? Furthermore, you're the 9 heavens goddess, and this 9 heaven world was created by your 9 fathers. Alright, they're fine, they're all in Divine Female Palace, but they've already decided to join the Divine Female Palace. You don't have any objections, right? Feng Yuji said. No objection, Chen Shang would definitely not stop him. That's right, then what about that LV Kilian, she shouldn't be joining the Divine Female Palace, right? LV Kilian asked. Deep down, LV Kilian was a very strong woman. He felt that even if the shrine controlled the 9 heaven world, LV Kilian would still hold on to his own. Feng Yuji shook her head. She didn't join the Divine Hall. She made a very difficult decision to disband Hundreds of Flowers Palace. What? This is impossible. Chen Shang understood LV Kilian very well. The Hundreds of Flowers Palace was his root, and she had actually dissolved the Hundreds of Flowers Palace. You seem to be very concerned about her. You shouldn't have anything to do with her, right? Feng Yuji looked at Chen Shang strangely. You are more powerful than I thought. Even a strong lady like LV Kilian is secretly related to you. You can't be like me. What powerful abilities do you have, and be specialized in bewitching women? Don't you have something to do with me? Chen Shang chuckled. Who has anything to do with you? Don't spout nonsense. Feng Yuji scoffed. Don't worry, I promise that I will definitely help you expel my enticing power within a year. I really hope you can't do it. That way, I can, ha ha ha, Chen Shang laughed sinisterly. Feng Yuji stomped his foot down. Don't think too much about it. Even though I don't hate you, and even have a little good impression of you, it's impossible for you and I to be together. Chen Shang retreated a few steps, and laughed. Continue talking about LV Kilian. What about after she disbanded Hundreds of Flowers Palace? After that, she disappeared. The disciples that were originally in Hundreds of Flowers Palace were also accepted by the Divine Female Palace. Only she refused to join them, and she didn't tell us the reason. Feng Yuji shook her head and sighed. With her talent, she will definitely be able to shine in the Divine Female Palace, and with my support, she can also wield a lot of power in the Divine Female Palace in the future. Chen Shang paced back and forth a few steps. He understood very well why LV Kilian did not join the Divine Female Palace, because LV Kilian had never been someone who settled down in another force. Under the current situation, if the Hundreds of Flowers Palace was not attached to a Divine Hall, he would definitely be annihilated in the end. LV Kilian was very clear on his current strength, so he had no choice but to make such a decision. Only Shenxian, Munger, Warm Moon and Jing 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 are joining the Divine Female Palace. Feng Yuji said. I advised Mei Yao and the others, but none of them were willing to join Divine Female Palace. What's going on? Chen Shang thought that Su Mei Yao and the others would join in as well. Mei Yao, Yu and Ziqian left together, and then it was Hong Sha and Jilinger's match. Your 2 younger sisters, Yu Lan and Chen Xiang's team. In short, many of the women did not join the Divine Female Palace at that time, and some of the women such as LV Qinlian and Little Lizzie from the Hundreds of Flowers Palace chose to leave to travel around. Chen Shang frowned. Yu Lan and Xiao Shang, these two troublemakers, are together, now it's really troublesome. After all, Shang Yu and Qianchen are together as well. They are not delicate girls under your care. They need to be tempered. They are also worried that they will implicate you, so they are all using their own methods to strengthen themselves. Feng Yuji sighed. But they should have chosen to join the Divine Female Palace because that is the safest and best way. Oh right, where's Long Shui? This guy is not with me, he definitely can't. Chen Shang said. She left for the path of gods by herself. She said that she needed to quickly enter the gods' realm, who knows what she was thinking. Feng Yuji said. Chen Shang was stunned, Long Shui actually wanted him to go to the gods' realm. And Long Ju, he disappeared after spending 10 days with your master and the others. Feng Yuji said, you can ask your master and the others. They are all in the devil-killing divine palace now, and as for whether or not they have joined, I am not too sure. Chen Shang nodded his head, and you, when will you bring out your second divine soul? My father is still in the divine tomb. Soon, I will have my second divine soul and am about to go to the god's realm. Feng Yuji said. Chen Shang found it strange that Chen Shang had suddenly set up a barrier. Do you know anything about the Supreme God Bone? Chen Shang asked mysteriously. Feng Yuji immediately wrinkled her brows, a look of shock on her face as she promptly nodded her head. Of course I know, then how did you know? There are less than 10 people in the 9 divine kings and I that do not know about this. Touch me and see if I have Supreme God Bone too. Chen Shang laughed as he rolled up his sleeves. After that, he began to circulate the power that was contained within the bones, causing a faint silver-white glow to emerge from within his flesh. Impossible, there's only one set of Supreme God Bone, 9 divine kings said, only I have them. Feng Yuji looked at the silver glow on Chen Zhang's arms, and shook his head as he muttered. Chapter 1773. The 9 divine kings hid a lot of things from Feng Yuji, if not Feng Yuji would not have said such words. Do you know where I went this month? Could it be the 9 Heaven Devil Palace? Didn't Long Ju say that you went to the Earth's core? Although Feng Yuji asked this, he didn't believe it at all. If Chen Shang really went to the 9 Heaven Devil Palace, even if he could return, he wouldn't return so quickly. Chen Shang laughed. I went to the Earth's core, and I found a palace there. Inside, I saw a large round table made of jade and 9 mighty jade chairs. Hearing that, Feng Yuji trembled from head to toe, and shouted in shock. It's that place. I have been with 9 divine kings for many years, but I have only been there a dozen times. If it wasn't for them telling me to go in, I wouldn't dare to go in, because there was a time when little Ju Mei barged in and got scolded. Younger 9 girl is probably Mei Emperor. Chen Shang asked. Guess what else I saw inside? You saw the 9 divine kings. Feng Yuji was not so surprised now, she seemed to have guessed something. Chen Shang nodded and then told her everything he had seen in the palace. After listening, Feng Yuji sighed. If something like this hadn't happened to little Ju, her relationship with me would have been very good. I also know that she would have died a long time ago, and right now, that evil spirit is only wearing her body. This evil spirit must have been ordered by someone. Moreover, to be able to place this evil spirit in her body, it definitely isn't an ordinary existence. Do you know who it is? Chen Shang asked. Since I have obtained the Supreme God Bone, then I have also received the 9 divine kings' favor, thus this matter is now related to me. Feng Yuji shook her head. I don't know, unless I can stay in God's realm for a period of time, I would have the possibility of finding out. When I was with 9 divine kings, I already knew that there were many objections and obstructions in the construction of 9 Heaven World, which was why little Ju was attacked. I was scolded by them, and they rarely scold me in such a strict manner. It's clear that they were worried that I would know about the existence of those people, and he only told me that I should stay alive and well, and not care about all that, let nature take its course. Quote. Chen Shang patted Feng Yuji's shoulders and sighed. When they're talking, they want to live happily as well. They can also be considered your father, and even though they say that, I can understand your feelings, so you definitely don't want to live like this. Feng Yuji raised his head and looked at Chen Shang. After looking at Chen Shang for a moment, he smiled. That's right, I must avenge little Ju. Chen Shang laughed. It seems like the relationship between you 2 sisters is very deep. Otherwise, with your strength, you would have already taken care of that Mei Emperor. I can't do it. A flash of grief passed through Feng Yuji's eyes. Then let me do it. You and 9 divine kings probably don't want that evil spirit to destroy your little sister's body. Chen Shang said with a sincere face. I can go and take care of her now. Feng Yuji let out a long sigh, and didn't speak for a long time, as if he was considering something. Well, you took her. Don't tell me so soon after you kill me. Feng Yuji thought for a moment and made his decision. But she has already gone to the god's realm. If you want to kill her, you have to go to the god's realm first. Feng Yuji added. Had already made his preparations to go to God's realm, but before he left, he had to see some old friends of his. I will leave soon. When are you going to God's realm? Chen Shang asked. I need a period of time to make sure that the divine female palace here is functioning properly. As for Shenxian and the others, you don't have to worry. I promise that when I go to the gods, I will bring them along and give them the power to pass the path of God. Quote. Feng Yuji was a pill saint, so he could be at ease. If possible, you'd better contact LV Kilian. She concocted quite a few spirit liquids by herself, and is much more powerful than me, so maybe she can help you copy more holy level ingredients. You can also help her refine some holy elixirs. Chen Shang said. Feng Yuji laughed heartily. What relationship do you have with LV Kilian? She seems to be cold to you, but from the looks of it, you have a very good relationship with her. She's my woman. Chen Shang curled his lips. Don't you dare spout nonsense. This is a secret between her and me. Feng Yuji punched Chen Shang on the chest. Good heavens, you are truly loose. Do you and Mei Yao faintly know about this? I never thought that such a cold and proud woman like LV Kilian would be taken care of by you. I'm going to see Shenxian, elder sister Munger and the others. After that, I'm going to take a walk in devil-killing divine palace and prepare to go to God's realm. Chen Shang said. Inside the gigantic cave beneath the Yuming Deep Abyss, there were some houses that Huang Jintian and the others had built before. Feng Yuji looked around and also felt that this was a good place. Okay, wait for me here. Just as Feng Yuji was about to leave, Chen Shang suddenly called out to her. Find the warm moon alone first, and don't tell her that I'm looking for her, and don't let Munger and Shenxian know either. Quote. Why? She knew that Dongfang Xinyue was Chen Zhang's female slave, but was still a female. Just by thinking about it, she knew why Chen Shang wanted to do this. Scoundrel. Feng Yuji snorted, then floated away. Chen Shang had a lot of trust in Feng Yuji. Although she was not told what he wanted, she still followed him. Arriving at the bottom of the Yuming Deep Abyss and seeing that Chen Shang was there, Dongfang Xinyue walked over. Frowning, he asked, sneaking around, if you want to find me, just say it. If you have anything to say, quickly say it. I still need to go back and help you refine that divine ship. Chen Shang suddenly hugged Dongfang Xinyue by his waist, and chuckled, little maid, of course I want you to serve me. Dongfang Xinyue struggled for a few moments, then looked at Feng Yuji. She did not expect Feng Yuji to actually do such a thing for Chen Shang. Feng Yuji stuck out his tongue, turned and left. Are you leaving? Dongfang Xinyue walked into a room with Chen Shang holding her head close to Chen Zhang's chest. Her jade hand had already reached into Chen Zhang's clothes, and gently caressed Chen Zhang's chest. Yes, before I leave, I must properly serve our master slave. Chen Shang gently placed Dongfang Xinyue on a clean and soft bed. Humph, you have to use all means possible before leaving. Dongfang Xinyue scoffed, and took off the clothes on her body, revealing her beautiful and flawless upper body that was as plump as jade. Chen Zhang's eyes shone with a brilliant light, greedily and happily admiring the beauty in front of him. At the same time, he fondled her lovingly, unable to let go of her hand, causing Dongfang Xinyue to laugh softly as he shrunk his body from time to time. Dongfang Xinyue was not willing to lose out. He also took off Chen Zhang's clothes, and used all of his strength to pinch Chen Zhang's sturdy body. Afterwards, the two unreservedly embraced each other, and passionately kissed and caressed. Following a painful cry that was intermixed with various complex emotions, the two of them finally became one. Chapter 1774. Standing guard outside the cave, Feng Yuji stomped his feet in anger. Am I crazy, to actually help this bastard do such a thing? The more Feng Yuji thought about it, the more he felt that there was something wrong with his head. Not only did he help Chen Shang call Dongfang Xinyue over alone, and let them enjoy the pleasures of being fish in water, he even helped them keep watch outside. This little bastard, he's purposely making such a big commotion so that I can hear him. Doesn't he not know how to casually lay down a barrier? Feng Yuji had no choice but to turn off his own hearing, otherwise, all of the touching words that Chen Shang and Dongfang Xinyue had said would have all entered her mind. Feng Yuji, who was born with the power of seduction, had never been so close to a place where men and women were intimate with each other. How long are they going to play? There's no end to it. Feng Yuji waited for more than 2 hours, but after thinking about it, Chen Shang and Dongfang Xinyue were not normal people. Chen Shang possessed the supreme being Holy Bone and Dongfang Xinyue had the Vermilion Bird bloodline. The two of them could really do this together without end. Feng Yuji wanted to leave immediately, but she had yet to get rid of the tracing mantra on Chen Zhang's body. Furthermore, the god's realm was already very close to the Nine Heavens Divine Palace, so Chen Shang could only continue to guard here. That should be enough. Sister Yujia is still waiting for us outside. Dongfang Xinyue leaned on Chen Zhang's chest in a soft and gentle voice. They had already trained for 2 hours, and when they rested, they would also open the windows to look at Feng Yuji outside. What's the rush? I'm going to the god's realm soon. We'll have to wait a long time before we meet again in the future. Chen Shang rubbed Dongfang Xinyue's chest and laughed wickedly. We still need to dual cultivate first, then take a bath and call Menger and Shenxian over. Saying that, Chen Shang laughed sinisterly. You still have to call Shenxian and Menger over. No, this is too embarrassing, definitely not. Dongfang Xinyue's face had already turned red. Dongfang Xinyue wanted to continue speaking, but Chen Shang had already lifted her up and jumped into a bath, then intensely kissed her in the bath. Feng Yuji predicted that Chen Shang and Dongfang Xinyue would at most live happily here for 1 to 2 days. After all, the two of them were very strong, but she never expected Chen Shang and Dongfang Xinyue to cultivate together. It would take them a lot of time. Chen Zhang's body and soul were both very strong at the moment. This was the first time Dongfang Xinyue had dual cultivated with her, and he had received great benefits. Furthermore, he could also do such shameful and comfortable things during dual cultivation, causing her to suddenly be unwilling to leave Chen Zhang's side. Good elder sister, are you still outside? Chen Shang suddenly said to Feng Yuji. Is it because the warm moon girl can't satisfy you, and wants me to go in and serve you? Feng Yuji's voice sounded, carrying a trace of resentment. I have this thought, but I don't know if you would be willing to tell you the truth. This is all because of you. Who told your charm to always torture me? Chen Shang chuckled. Don't even think about it. Finish it quickly, Feng Yuji scoffed. I'm going to leave very soon. I don't know when I'll meet them in the future, and your seductive powers will continue to torment me. You can't help me get rid of them within a year, so quickly help me call Shenxian and the elder sister Menger over. Chen Shang laughed. Feng Yuji thought about how Chen Shang had always been tormented by her seductive power, and felt very apologetic. He could only bite the bullet and summon Shui Shenxian and Lu Menger over. Very quickly, Lu Menger and Shui Shenxian arrived at the bottom of the Yuming Deep Abyss. Feng Yuji merely allowed them to enter the house. When the two girls opened the door and saw Chen Shang and Dongfang Xinyue playing in the bath, they were immediately stunned. Without a second word, Shui Shenxian threw a punch and a kick towards Chen Shang at the side of the pool previously, but in the end, it had also turned into a fight, and after being dragged down the bath by Chen Shang, he was stripped naked. Even Lu Menger, who was hiding far away, could not avoid it, as he was swept away by the suction force from Chen Shang. Feng Yuji was already numb to it. She muttered, Mei Yao and the others have truly left very well, if not, I can't imagine. Quote. She thought about how there were many women by Chen Zhang's side. If she were to be with Chen Shang at this moment, she would definitely go even more crazy. This bastard has a conscience after all. He didn't extend his claws towards this naive and innocent girl, Jing Jing. Feng Yuji continued to let his imagination run wild as he waited for Chen Shang and the others to finish. After finding out that Chen Shang was preparing to go to the god's realm, Lu Menger and Shui Shenxian could only sigh quietly. Previously, they had gotten along with Chen Shang in the divine prison, and it was the first time in many years that they had spent so much time together. At this time, they were also very considerate and good when taking care of Chen Shang, because they might need a very long time to see him again. Chen Shang wasn't doing this all for the sake of being happy with the three girls. At the same time, he was dual cultivating with them, transferring the power of his newly merged Supreme God Bone into their bodies through dual cultivation. When he was training with the three girls, Chen Shang had consumed a large amount of his vitality, because he had also passed down some of the strange abilities in his body to them. For example, that poison resistance and some of his fire of chaos s, although they were very weak, they could still give them a start. Feng Yuji had been waiting outside for more than 10 days. When Chen Shang and the three women saw his haggard appearance, they rejoiced at his misfortune and at the same time, guessed a few things, because Shui Shenxian, Lu Menger and Dongfang Xinyue who walked out with Chen Shang were extremely spirited at this moment. There were also big changes as well, which showed that Chen Shang had used some kind of secret method to channel a lot of energy to them. You have that kind of bone, there shouldn't be a need for you to act this way, right? What exactly did you do? Feng Yuji was still very curious about why Chen Shang had become like this. You'll know once you try. Chen Shang laughed. HMPH. Feng Yuji snorted unhappily. After eating a dragon blood Saint Dan, Chen Zhang's complexion gradually recovered. He opened a spatial tunnel and brought Feng Yuji and the others to the forest outside of the city of Goddess. Sister Yujia, called Jing Jing out. Before Chen Shang goes to the god's realm, play with this little girl. She would like to be able to hang out with you. Dongfang Xinyue laughed. We won't be going, we still have to hurry. We just hope that when we get to the god's realm, we can hand over that ship to you. Shui Shenxian kissed Chen Zhang's cheeks. Be careful. Lu Menger also kissed him on the other cheek. Don't be too stubborn, you still have us to remember. Feng Yuji, the three women returned to the divine female palace, and then, they called Dongfang Jing out. Do you want me to accompany you? Yes. Chen Shang nodded. Dongfang Jing was very happy that she could go play with Chen Shang, so when she came out, she was even wearing a light pink dress. At this moment, her innocent face was brimming with joy. Big brother, I've known you for so long, yet you've never brought me out to play. Chen Xiang said before that you've brought her out to play before, and you've even eaten a lot of things. Dongfang Jing walked up to Chen Zhang's frisbee and leaned on his arm. Chen Xiang, seriously, left with Yulan just like that. These two girls are both crazy brats, wild girls who like to fight. Chen Xiang was still very worried at the moment. Brother, don't worry about them, Chen Xiang is a new sword emperor now, sister Yulan is also very strong, it's fine. Dongfang Jing laughed. Let's go look for Lingling, she should be at big sister's place. Feng Yuji said. Long Huishan also went on to the path of God, and she even brought Shen Lingling. I heard that Shen Lingling had hidden problems when she grew up, but never would I have thought that with the help of the Ice Dragon lineage, she would actually become so powerful and increase by leaps and bounds. Right now, she is going to the God's realm with many of the older people from the Ice Dragon bloodline. This is not a good thing. Seems like I need to hurry up and go to the God's realm. Chen Shang thought about the Ice Dragon's experience in the God's realm and began to worry about the Ice Dragon's bloodline. Shui Yi gave the Ice Dragon's supreme dragon blood to the Ice Dragon's lineage. I think it should be fine. Feng Yuji said. Lingling is really working hard, he has already passed the path of gods. In the future, I need to work hard too, I also want to pass the path of gods with my own abilities. Dongfang Jing said with a resolute expression. Chen Shang pinched her cheek, and laughed, it will definitely work if you keep quiet. Feng Yuji also laughed, there is nothing to be afraid of on the road to the God realm now. Since DTN has become so powerful, the people training in DTN will become much stronger than before. Back then, very few people entered the God's realm from the ninth heaven. Sister Jia, you are also a god, right? Dongfang Jing asked Feng Yuji with his eyes wide open. Yes. Feng Yuji smiled slightly and caressed Dongfang Jing's face. In the future, I will guide you and make you stronger. You possess the Vermilion Bird's bloodline, so your foundation is extremely good. Chen Shang brought Dongfang Jing on a tour around DTN's mountains and rivers, and also went to some bustling cities, and even went to some endless heaven realms. He brought Dongfang Jing and Feng Yuji to taste all kinds of delicious food, and bought many strange things, to play for close to 10 days. Dongfang Jing was already very satisfied, and did not cry when he bid farewell to Chen Shang. Chen Shang teleported to the vicinity of the sacred beast's ancient realm. Because the devil-killing divine palace was right here, that group of gods back then could now oppress the Hell Devil Emperor in broad daylight. LV Gen and the Grandma LV were both inside the devil-killing divine palace, so the person who had a huge grudge with the Hell Devil Emperor was definitely also here. Bai Yahweh himself was also a member of the devil-killing summit and now he also chose to join the devil-killing divine palace. Huang Jintian, Zhang Sheng, along with his old friends Ji Yu Dongchen, Wu Keiming, Yun Xiaodao, and the others were all brought here by Huang Jintian. After Chen Shang came to the devil-killing divine palace, he drank with these old friends of his for a few days and nights before making an agreement to meet them again in the God's realm in the future. Chapter 1775. It was said that there were two paths to the spirit realm in the God's realm. The easiest one to reach was the God's realm. The path to get there was not going to be tested, but it was equivalent to courting death, so even if the path to reach the spirit realm was easier to pass, no one would choose it. The other path to becoming a deity was in the divine realm, which was the holy land of the continent of the king back then. Currently, that place had already been exposed. Chen Shang had gone to that place a few times, but he had never gone deep there. The only time was when he went in with Lu Munger, and got the divine book. There, Chen Shang also had an old friend who was a blue dragon. LV Gen had gone to the God realm before. He did not succeed in passing through the God realm road, but right now, there shouldn't be any problems. However, he still wanted to do some things against the Hell Devil Emperor S in the DTN region. Chen Shang entered the spirit realm, but he did not know of it. This guy should have already gone to God's realm. Chen Shang looked at the ruins here, and then walked forward. The path of God was a difficult path for many experts back in the day. But now, it had become relatively easy, mainly because the experts now were all relatively strong. Originally, Chen Shang wanted to see Hua Shangyu and Wu Qianchen, but there was no news of them. They were traveling all over, disguised, 9 heaven world and many other endless heaven realm. It was not easy to find them. He could only give up. Shui Yi, this little gluttonous dragon, what kind of madness is this, to go to the God's realm alone? What if she doesn't have anything to eat there? Chen Shang was suddenly a little worried about Long Shui Yi. She needed to eat a lot of good things to become strong, and she had always relied on him to do so. Chen Shang followed Feng Yuji's instructions. After arriving at the God realm, he ran in the direction of a faint golden light. That place was the location of the God realm road, the place where he could enter the God's realm. On the way to the heavenly mystery road, Chen Shang encountered all sorts of naturally formed powerful illusions, and he was able to bypass them all. On the road, he saw many corpses, and all of them died on the road. Chen Shang was currently in a boundless desert, on that road which was emitting a faint golden light, giving people the illusion that he was not too far away. On the other hand, Chen Shang had already been walking for more than 10 days, but he still had not seen the so-called road to becoming a god. What's going on? If I had known earlier, I would have asked him more carefully. He hasn't arrived yet. Chen Shang looked around to make sure he did not fall into the array. He continued to walk in the desert for 3 more days, which made him feel strange. Along the way, more and more corpses appeared, but he didn't encounter any danger. Most of the corpses were dried up, and the cause of death didn't come from their physical bodies. Is that the entrance to the path of all gods? Chen Shang could already see a pale golden vortex in the sky in front of him, which was a spatial passageway. Chen Shang looked at the corpse at the side and frowned. Could it be that all of these bodies fell out from the path of God? It didn't work. This was the same way death worked, which made Chen Shang a little worried. This path of God is really dangerous. Chen Shang looked carefully at a relatively fresh corpse. This corpse's bones were supposed to be very strong, but now they were very weak, and its dried up flesh was the same. It was as if all the strong energy in its body had been sucked out. Chen Shang rushed to the entrance of the path of divine, observed carefully, then jumped in, and entered the whirlpool. It really is a spatial passageway, and it's very unstable. In order to prevent himself from having problems during passage, Chen Shang used the power of the spatial laws to reinforce the spatial passageway. Otherwise, a chaotic and tyrannical spatial energy would occasionally appear in this tyrannical spatial passageway. This power was extremely terrifying, and if one could not block it, then if one was lucky, they would be able to leave their corpse outside in the desert. If one was unlucky, they would most likely be torn into pieces by the powerful energy and scattered around the path of God. The spatial energy here was a strong power of law. This kind of power of law maintained the operation of countless dimensions, such as God's realm, 9 heaven world, and so on. It was strong and mysterious. This path of God is indeed difficult to walk on. If I don't control the power of space, then I will at least suffer a lot of torture if I want to pass it. This is also a test for humans. Chen Shang could be said to be extremely relaxed on the way here, but when he tried to retreat, he discovered that the spatial energy would become even more berserk, and he nearly lost control of it. It seems like this path of God can only be taken forward and not backwards. This is a one-way path. Chen Shang sighed. In the future, if you want to return from God's realm, it seems that you need to at least have the strength of a super profound God. If it was an Empyrean god, it would definitely be very easy for them to return. Those deities Templar had sent down so many deities, all sent down by the Empyrean god himself. Now, Chen Shang suddenly felt that the gods' realm's rules were not bad, they could restrain so many gods, if not it would be too easy for the Hell Devil Emperor to come to the Nine-Heaven world. But now, he was actually worried about how long the rules of the gods' realm would last, and that there were many rules that could be changed, such as when the Nine-Heaven world grew up, they would change the rules so that everyone could fly away the Nine-Heaven world that was created by the 9 divine kings. The Nine-Heaven world will definitely be stronger than the gods' realm in the future. Otherwise, the 9 divine kings will not be persecuted. Chen Shang had a premonition that the strength of the 9 divine kings was much stronger than the gods, but the reason why none of the 9 of them were able to survive was because they had created a 9-heaven world with unlimited potential. The path of gods was very long. Chen Shang had never thought that a spatial passageway could actually be this long. In the past, the spatial passageway he opened had always been able to arrive at his destination in an instant. But this also meant that there was a huge difference in time between the space where 9-heaven world was located and the space where God's realm was located. There might even be a time difference, or there might be a possibility of there being some sort of gap between the two spaces. Right now, Chen Shang did not dare to mess around in the spatial tunnel. It would be extremely difficult for the spatial tunnel to be so stable. To pass the path of God by oneself is also a proof of oneself. Chen Shang thought back to what Shui Shenxian and the others had said to him, that they wanted him to pass through the path of gods. Chen Shang, who was extremely sensitive to space, had already sensed that there was an exit in front of him. When he reached the last section of the road, the space became much more stable. In front of us is the gods' realm. Chen Shang suddenly tensed up. The Hell Devil Emperor still has the tracing mantra on me, maybe he already knows that I entered the path of gods. If that's the case, then maybe he will send people to guard outside. Chen Shang slowed his pace and was thinking about how to safely enter the gods' realm. When the Hell Devil Emperor sent someone with blood to the divine prison previously, he did not manage to capture Chen Shang. Now that he found out that Chen Shang was going to the gods' realm, the Hell Devil Emperor felt that Chen Shang had walked into a trap. The Hell Devil Emperor will definitely come secretly. If possible, he doesn't want to share the heavenly alchemy with others either. He definitely didn't tell the other gods that I have already come to the gods' realm. If that was the case, Chen Shang did not need to worry about too many gods attacking him. If that's the case, it would be too eye-catching, and would definitely be suspected. Previously, when the god of fortune cooperated with him, he also channeled a lot of manpower into his body, causing him to lose a lot of profound goddess, so the god of fortune would definitely not let me off. Thinking that the god of fortune, who is stronger than even the Hell Devil Emperor, would want to capture him, Chen Shang felt a lot of pressure right now. Looks like I have to leave as soon as I get out. I wonder how the gods' realm space is like. With my current strength, how long can I open up a spatial tunnel? Chen Shang had already been secretly operating his energy, but at this time, he was getting closer and closer to the exit. The moment he stepped out, a bright light pierced him. This was a normal sunlight, but it carried a strong aura of divine force. As expected, Chen Shang only needed a glance to know that there were a lot of strong warriors hiding around. A few of them even belonged to the profound god. Chen Shang had already used his superb transformations, turning himself into a small, old man whose entire body was riddled with wounds. The people waiting for him here were definitely going to be killed in one strike, so once they identified the person, they would immediately make their move. If it wasn't for Chen Shang coming, they would have probably missed the opportunity to make their move. But they had already missed the opportunity. The moment Chen Shang came to the god's realm, the space around him began to fluctuate like water patterns before he even breathed in much air. The group of assassins had also received a message from the Hell Devil Emperor, saying that Chen Shang had already appeared in the god's realm. The group of killers had been waiting for a long time. Seeing an old man covered in blood, they subconsciously thought that it was not Chen Shang, so they gave him a very short and precious time. Just this little bit of Chen Shang was already enough for Chen Shang to use his spatial energy to escape this ambush point. Just as Chen Shang had guessed, the Hell Devil Emperor only knew that he had entered the path of the gods, and did not know when he would come out. The gods' realm's space was much stronger than DTN's, so Chen Shang was unable to travel too far. However, it was still able to help him escape from his most dangerous moment. Chen Shang had shuttled to the limit several dozen times consecutively, and was already far away from the exit of the road. After arriving at the god's realm, he had not even seen what the god's realm was like before he crazily ran away. Who was resting thought back to the murderous intents from the profound god, he had a lingering fear in his heart. Chapter 1776. Chen Shang could not stay in one place for too long, so when he had entered the god's realm, he had already made preparations to hide here. If I can't get rid of the tracing mantra, I won't be able to settle down. Chen Shang only rested for a short while before he used his spatial energy to travel back and forth. Before, when he was at Dtian's devil-killing divine palace, he had asked around about the gods there, and found out that there was a relatively safe place in the god's realm. For example, the divine cities that were established by some shrines all had very strict rules inside, and the majority of them were not allowed to have conflicts inside. What Chen Shang needed to do now was to find a divine city like this, and cultivate inside for a period of time until his spirit was strong enough to break away from the Hell Devil Emperor's tracing mantra. Although the devil-killing divine palace was not the strongest divine palace in the god's realm, it was still relatively strong. Its main target was the Hell Devil Emperor, so Chen Shang chose to enter this divine palace. The god's realm was extremely vast, and just as LV Gen had said, it was many times bigger than the 9-heaven world and the other endless heaven realm combined. It was said that the god's realm was growing up on its own every day, and every day it expanded. Chen Shang was running around randomly. He just wanted to quickly find a living person and ask him how to get to the nearest divine city. He could not run around in the god's realm. If he met some powerful god-level beasts here, it would not be a joke, so Chen Shang would be extremely careful. More than 10 days later, he finally met people by a lake. They were 2 old men. They were squatting by the lake and staring at the lake intently. These 2 old men were both true gods. Chen Shang reckoned that they were probably only demigods or gods in strength. Sensing that someone had arrived, the 2 elders became vigilant. Seeing that it was a young man of later generation and that the aura he revealed was not very strong, they both relaxed a lot. "Seniors, I am lost. May I ask how can I get to the divine city?" Chen Shang asked respectfully. These 2 old men looked somewhat similar. Chen Shang felt that they were brothers. The nearby divine city are very far away, so it's obviously the fastest way to go directly. However, there are a lot of dangerous places blocking the way, so you need a god's disc to point the way. An old man took out a palm-sized black disc with a golden needle on it. The old man threw the divine disc to Chen Shang, and said, "Inject the divine power into it, and you will know the route of the divine city. My divine disc only has 10 odd paths to the divine city, and the closest ones are also here." After Chen Shang expressed his thanks, he poured his god power into them and immediately the images of 10 over divine city appeared in his mind. They were all surrounded by tall, golden walls, releasing a light as bright as the sun, extremely majestic and shocking. The closest divine city was called Tongtian Divine City. Chen Shang suspected that this city was very close to the entrance of the Path of God, that's why it was named this way, because there was no shrine inside. Although he did not have a shrine, he still had the transmission array. That was enough for him to be teleported to the devil-killing divine city. After Chen Shang memorized all the routes on the divine compass, he returned it back to the old man and thanked him again. Then, he chatted with the others for a while and bid his farewell. Chen Shang had originally planned to go to the Tongtian Divine City, but after thinking about it again, he was worried that there would be an ambush there. Because the Tongtian Divine City was not inside the Divine Palace, the rules he formulated could not restrict the Hell Devil Emperor. Therefore, he decided to go to the Divine Cities that were a bit further away. The Divine Cities were called the Flowing Light Divine Cities. In order to prevent the Hell Devil Emperor from figuring out where he was going, Chen Shang spent a lot of effort and strolled around. In the end, he went through dozens of spatial jumps in one breath and entered the Flowing Light Divine City. Chen Shang did not like this city very much. He quickly found out about the teleportation location here and after a short while, he teleported away using 100 god coins. Devil-killing Divine City was a famous city. When Chen Shang arrived, he immediately felt that the Divine City was much worse than this place. No matter the style of the buildings, or the strength of the people inside the city, none of them could be compared with the Sword of Radiance sect. At least the Hell Devil Emperor did not dare make a move here. He did not need to worry about being chased and killed by the profound god who were much stronger than him. Where the hell did that girl Shui Yi run off to? Chen Shang felt that it was boring for him to be alone too. In the past, it was good to have Long Shui Yi to chat with him by his side. Chen Shang did not have much divine money on him, but the divine money was extremely important here. He had already understood it from the divine prison. Although he did not have much divine money, he had many things that could be exchanged for divine money, such as his divine deity and those sacred pills. He had 2 battle god level S, other divine deity, and 2 ordinary divine deity with him. Both of them could be exchanged for a large amount of divine money, but he was not too familiar with the god's realm, so he did not have any intentions of making a move right now. My current physical body is already very strong, I only need to cultivate my soul. It seems that I need to purchase some holy level ingredients that can help my strong soul refine pills. Chen Shang didn't know much about holy levels medicinal herbs. When he was in 9 Heaven World, he only knew a little, but in God's realm, there were a lot of types of holy levels medicinal herbs, even some divine medicines. In the God's realm, there were still 4 ancient 4 symbols divine weapons S, and they were the most powerful ones. Chen Shang also wanted to find them quickly, but he was currently very weak in the God's realm, and he was also affected by the tracing mantra. As long as he could get rid of the tracing mantra, he would be able to start searching for the 4 ancient 4 symbols divine weapons S. Chen Shang bought a pearl at a place that was specially used to sell medicinal pellets. Inside the pellet, there was a lot of knowledge related to sacred medicinal pellets. The price of this pearl was not low either, using up the last bit of divine money. After Chen Shang understood from experience that it was not easy to earn divine money from the God's realm, as long as one was not too lazy, one could earn $2,000 in a month. However, while earning the divine money, one would also have to spend money on cultivation, such as buying pills to support their cultivation, or hiring people to cultivate the divine armor, and also having to spend a lot of money to stay in the divine city. In addition, there were also some relatively large expenses. Some low-level true gods would occasionally rent a sparring field to practice on, in order to increase their combat experience. In order to travel to other divine city, one would also need to pay a teleportation fee. Thus, most of the gods here were relatively poor. There are a lot of people who have just entered true god stage, and most of them will be stuck at the demigod stage, followed by the semi-god stage. As long as one is not too bad, as long as they can endure for a period of time, they will be able to reach the true god stage. Most of the people Chen Shang saw on the road had this kind of strength. There were also true gods and upper true goddess, but not many of them existed. Chen Shang had met a few in the devil-killing divine city S, but they were all first-rate places like the medicine shop he went to previously, where profound god was located. Chen Shang could only refine low-grade holy pellets now, but Dragon Blood Saint Dan S with strong bodies would only be worth 50 divine coins here. To Chen Shang, this was selling for a bit less, but he knew very well that the low-rank holy level S would grow easily here. Furthermore, the cultivation method of the God's realm was very clever, it allowed these ingredients to grow very quickly, and those who needed low-rank holy pellets would not be very strong, but they would be the poorer kind. Therefore, the low-rank holy pellets only cost this much. But a medium-grade saint pill was different. Its price was 5 to 10 times higher than a low-grade saint pill. Chapter 1777. Chen Shang had not refined a medial-grade holy pellet yet. After all these years, he could only refine a medial-grade holy pellet, so the process would definitely not be easy. In the God's realm, there were many types of low-grade holy pellets. He felt that it wouldn't be too late to refine all the low-grade holy pellets. In order to earn a lot of money by refining pills here, Chen Shang had to first find a place to stay in the city, then condense spirit liquid, duplicate a large amount of medicinal herbs, and then start refining pills. If he did not have the tracing mantra, he would have definitely opened a cave in the forest deep in the mountains and hid inside the cave to refine pills. That would have saved him a lot of money. Now, in order to be safe, he could only choose to stay in the divine city, this way he could peacefully concoct pills without worry. However, in the divine city, finding a place to stay required a lot of money. According to what he heard, the divine city did not sell any residences, they were just renting. The better areas were expensive, the cheaper places were cheap, but the environment was not good, which was also a method for divine city to amass wealth. He could buy a house, but the price was too high for an ordinary person to bear. If he only stayed in the divine city for a short period of time, he would normally choose to stay at inns or hotels, but Chen Shang planned to stay for a long time, so he could only find a place to stay. The cost of going to the inns and hotels was too high, and these places were not suitable for refining pills. I don't have much money left on me, so I can only temporarily sleep on the streets. Chen Shang looked at the sky. It was almost dark, and he had just asked around. It was a normal small house. The monthly rent was 2,000 gold coins. Most people only earned $2,000 to $3,000 per month, so the rent was considered relatively high. Generally, only a few people would rent it together. If only I had known earlier, I would have asked the elder sister Munger and the others to give me some of the top stone. I can sell them here for a lot of money, which is enough for me to last past the beginning. Chen Shang was walking on the street, looking for a good place to spend the night. Just as Chen Shang was about to sleep on the streets, he suddenly saw a familiar face in front of him. Tai Chang. Chen Shang hurriedly transmitted to the middle-aged man in front. When Chen Shang was in the divine prison, although some unpleasant things had happened between him and Tai Chang, in the end, they still reached an agreement. Moreover, it was only because Tai Chang had helped that Tai Chang was able to leave the divine prison. Tai Chang heard the familiar voice in his mind, and was pleasantly surprised. He never thought that he would meet Chen Shang again. Chen Shang, it's really you. Tai Chang still couldn't believe it. He thought that Chen Shang was in deep trouble. After all, not just anyone could avoid Hell Devil Emperor and the other gods from capturing Chen Shang. Manager Tai, I didn't expect that we would meet so soon. He had now changed his appearance, but according to his sound transmission, Tai Chang knew where he was. It wasn't very fast either. It's been 5,000 years. Tai Chang sighed. He had already arrived by Chen Zhang's side. Tai Chang was a upper true god, and compared to the majority of the people here, his power was not bad. I just came to the god's realm. When I came, I was chased by a large group of experts. Fortunately, I managed to escape quickly. Chen Shang sighed. He followed behind Tai Chang. Tai Chang said, no wonder I heard that there were many experts gathered at Divine City's side. So they were there to deal with you. Old Tai, do you have a place here? I just came here, so in order to teleport to this divine city, I used up my last bit of divine money. Can I stay there for a while? Chen Shang was Tai Chang's benefactor, so Tai Chang was very willing, and said straightforwardly, no problem, my place is considered quite big. Chen Shang and Tai Chang chatted along the way. After learning that Tai Chang had come out of divine prison, he came to devil-killing divine city, and because devil-killing divine city was mainly dealing with Hell Divine Palace, and Tai Chang seemed to have grudges with Hell Divine Palace, he found a job in devil-killing divine city. Tai Chang was the strongest under the profound god, so he was currently working in the devil-killing divine palace and was mainly responsible for killing the evil demon. As long as someone provided information and confirmed where the strong evil demon was, the devil-killing divine palace would send someone to kill them. Tai Chang was now the leader of a small team and he could get tens of thousands of gods' money every month. Therefore, Tai Chang's residence was not bad. In a villa with a mountain and water, a beautiful scenery, and a house that was built halfway up the mountain. Old Tai, it's a good life for you. Chen Shang sat on a comfortable chair, drank a mouthful of the good wine Tai Chang took out, and praised, this mansion should be very expensive, right? I am renting it right now, because everything here belongs to the devil-killing divine palace, and I am a citizen of the devil-killing divine palace, so it was very cheap when I rented it. It costs 2,000 gods coins per month. Quote, people like me live in this villa. As long as it's not a holiday, once you receive the notice, you will have to leave immediately. Sometimes, it's also dangerous, and a few days ago, those guys from the mountain beside me went to see the Hell Devil Emperor. Tai Chang sighed. This is also a day when one licks blood on a blade. Earning money is not easy. Chen Shang laughed. It's easier to earn than in divine prison. Of course, back then in the divine prison, it was hard to earn even a single fortune. Thinking back to how he had wasted so many years in divine prison, Tai Chang sighed. Brother Shen, why don't you join the devil-killing divine palace as well? Right now, you have the biggest conflict with the Hell Devil Emperor, and the God of Fortune and the God of Flame are just joining in for the fun of it. Once you join the devil-killing divine palace, the God of Fortune and the Fire God will definitely stop, and as for the Hell Devil Emperor, there's no need to worry. Chen Shang had also considered this matter before, but he was worried that after joining the devil-killing divine palace, his freedom would be restricted, and he didn't want to be restricted too much. Saw through Chen Zhang's worries and immediately said, actually you don't have to worry, devil-killing divine palace is different from the other shrines, they won't tie you up to death. As long as you don't want to stay in devil-killing divine palace anymore, you can leave anytime you want, but most of the people who enter the devil-killing divine palace will choose to stay behind. Of course, if it was you, it would be easy for me to think of it. Devil-killing heavenly god might even come out to talk with you personally. If it was really just as Tai Chang had said, then he wouldn't be restricted too much and could leave at any time. Then, entering the devil-killing divine palace right now was indeed a good choice, and also, he had another goal, and that was to see if the devil-killing heavenly god could help him get rid of the tracing mantra that annoyed him. The devil-killing divine palace had always given Chen Shang a good impression, because LV Gen was the one who came out of devil-killing summit, and his master Huang Jintian was also from devil-killing summit. Even Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu had some connections with him, so this devil-killing divine palace gave him a sense of familiarity. Alright, Chen Shang nodded his head. When you have time, bring me to the devil-killing divine palace. I hope that the matter of me joining the devil-killing divine palace is temporarily kept a secret. Chen Shang wanted to join the devil-killing divine palace. Tai Chang was very happy and laughed. Now, I will bring you to directly find the head disciple of the devil-killing heavenly god. That guy is also my current master. Even though it was already dark, Tai Chang was fine with what he said, and still brought Chen Shang to the giant tower in the middle of Divine City. In the darkness of the night, this 3,000-meter-tall giant tower released a silver light, enveloping the entire center of the Divine City in this kind of divine silver light. This was the devil-killing divine palace, a grand and sacred building, and there were even gods in it. Chen Shang had already informed his master, who was also the head disciple of devil-killing heavenly god. His name was Ren Tianyang, and he was a super profound god. At the same time he had the qualification to become a martial immortal, and was one of the top 10 war gods in devil-killing divine palace. He was very famous in the circle of martial immortals in God's realm. This kind of strong war god gave Chen Shang a feeling that he was full of killing intent and that he was a big man. However, when Chen Shang saw Ren Tianyang, he was caught off guard. Ren Tianyang looked very refined, wearing an old robe, holding a fan in his hand, which had a few words written on it. On the fan, it seemed to be written by a lady. Although he looked delicate, he was not weak, because he was very tall. Although his body was not very tall, but he was not very thin either, very even. When Ren Tianyang saw Chen Shang, he smiled faintly, but it did not give off a feeling of superiority. It's a wise decision for you to come here. Little Tai told me about your worries. I can guarantee that the things you're worried about will never happen. Ren Tianyang went straight to the point and got straight to the point. Since I have joined the devil-killing divine palace, I will follow the rules of the devil-killing divine palace. Chen Shang nodded, and smiled. However, I do not wish for Hell Devil Emperor to know that I have joined the devil-killing divine palace at the moment. Ren Tianyang chuckled. You have the tracing mantra and you are also here. Even if you didn't tell him, he would have guessed it already, and we will also help you solve your final wish later on. As long as Hell Devil Emperor isn't a fool, he will be able to think of your choice. Chen Shang was ecstatic. This devil-killing divine palace could actually help him unravel the damned tracing mantra. Then what do I have to do now, can be considered as me officially joining the devil-killing divine palace. Chen Shang had decided to join them temporarily. If it's anyone else, we will follow the procedure that the devil-killing divine palace has followed. As for you, with the exception of us, let the main heavenly god come directly. Quote. Tai Chang was shocked. Since main heavenly god is here personally, this means that he wants to accept a disciple. Ren Tianyang laughed. That's not true. I heard that it's an exception. Main heavenly god knows that Chen Shang doesn't want to become his disciple anymore, so he didn't have that thought. He did it to stop the god of fortune, fire god and the other god from staring at Chen Shang. Quote. Chapter 1778. Chen Shang followed Ren Tianyang to the top of the devil-killing divine palace. He did not know how many floors there were, but this place was not the top, but it was a huge and empty circular plaza. You just need to sit in the middle. Next up, my master will help you complete the ceremony to enter the palace, and also help you remove the tracing mantra. After Ren Tianyang finished speaking, he left through a stone door. Chen Shang sat down in the middle of the hall and relaxed his mind. Not long later, the spirit grain S in all directions started to light up. Relax, don't resist, otherwise you will suffer. An aged voice came from inside Chen Zhang's mind. This was the voice of the devil-killing heavenly god. Understood. Chen Shang immediately relaxed his body. Not long later, he felt a mark appearing on his divine deity. Yi, your physical body is very strange, very powerful. With your current cultivation, you shouldn't have such a powerful physical body. Devil-killing heavenly god's voice sounded in Chen Zhang's mind. Main Heavenly God, this is my secret, I hope that you help me keep it a secret and not leak it out. Chen Shang said. Devil-killing Heavenly God was very easy to talk to and immediately agreed. Relax, I won't say anything. I'm just curious, the reason your body is like this is because of the Supreme God bone. Only the 9 divine kings can create something like this, but it's said that only the 9 heavens goddess has a Supreme God bone. The devil-killing Heavenly God said, back then, there was another reason why the Hell Devil Emperor destroyed DTN. He wanted to capture the 9 heavens goddess and seize the Supreme God bone. Now, it's actually with you. Chen Shang remembered that Feng Yuji had said it before, that she was the only one who knew about this Supreme God bone. I got this unexpectedly, not the 9 heavens goddess. Chen Shang asked. Other than strengthening the body, does the Supreme God bone have any other uses? You must have this to become the God King, and your Supreme God bone is not the strongest type, you still need to grow, but this can help you avoid working so hard to cultivate this Supreme God bone in the future. Devil-killing Heavenly God sighed. This is something that we gods have always wanted to cultivate. Main Heavenly God, do you know why 9 divine kings disappeared so mysteriously all those years ago? Chen Shang asked. I am not too sure. At that time, although I was already a god, I did not know much about it. The 9 divine kings was also my most respected expert, unless you can find another god king, they would probably know a lot about what happened back then. Main Heavenly God said. For all these years, I have been focused on dealing with Hell Devil Emperor. Once Hell Devil Emperor's scheme succeeds, a great disaster will befall God's realm. It is true that God-like us will not be a big deal, but other people will not know. Following that, Devil-killing Heavenly God told Chen Shang to continue relaxing his body and help him get rid of the tracing mantra. It took him a full 10 days, showing just how stubborn the tracing mantra was. Even though you don't have the tracing mantra on you, you still have to be careful, because the Hell Devil Emperor or other gods might still be able to get something like that from you. Devil-killing Heavenly God said, this tracing mantra is still the weaker kind. If it was made by a god who specializes in cursing divine arts, even I would have a hard time deciphering it. Is there any way to guard against it? Chen Shang could not help but be worried. Unless you possess the strength of a profound god, it will be hard to guard against you. What I told you to be careful of, is that once you discover that you are down on the tracing mantra, you need to pay attention to one thing. Devil-killing Heavenly God said. Since Hell Devil Emperor has spent so much effort on you, I feel that he won't let this go easily. Although there was still the possibility of being trapped in the tracing mantra, Chen Shang was still relatively happy. As long as he had a bit of time, and could become profound god, he wouldn't have to worry about him anymore. Will I bring you guys trouble if I join the devil-killing divine palace? Chen Shang was also a little worried about this. Devil-killing Heavenly God laughed a few times. I am actually worried that you will join devil-killing divine palace. In the future, you will encounter even more troubles, and the thing that our devil-killing divine palace is least afraid of is trouble. We have been fighting against Hell Devil Emperor for so many years, so there is no need to be afraid of him. Chen Shang did not see devil-killing Heavenly God, but being able to communicate with him was considered good, because devil-killing Heavenly God was currently training, so he could only share a part of his consciousness. Walking out of the building, Ren Tianyang immediately welcomed him with a smile and gave him a jade token in a storage bag. From now on, we are on the same side. If you need anything, just say so. Ren Tianyang patted Chen Zhang's shoulder. Just as Ren Tianyang wanted to say something, he frowned and anxiously took out a jade tablet. Someone was sending a message to him. A powerful demon god has appeared. I'll go deal with him first. We'll talk another day. After Ren Tianyang finished speaking, he quickly left. In the past few days, Tai Chang had been here all along and he had been waiting for Chen Shang to come out. When he saw Chen Shang, he chuckled and said, Brother Shen, your freedom is much higher than ours, so what plans do you have for us? If you have nothing else to do, you should just join my team. Chen Shang thought for a while, no problem. Chen Shang followed Tai Chang to an old man in the Divine Hall to register and join Tai Chang's team. The old man in charge of registration had obviously found out that Chen Shang was a new member of the devil-killing Divine Palace. This little brother, even if you join Tai Chang's party, you'll still be paid 1,000 divine coins every month. Because you're more free, you don't have any objections, right? The old man asked with a smile. Nope, Chen Shang did not rely on working here to earn money, it was too slow for him. He was only temporarily together with Tai Chang, and also wanted to get to know God's realm. Chen Shang not only had $1,000 per month, he also didn't have a place to stay. Old Tai, how many people are in your team? Chen Shang asked. If I join your team, would I drag you down? Now that he had a place to settle down, Chen Shang was not in a hurry to refine pills to earn some money. Furthermore, the tracing mantra had already been removed. He planned to relax for a while and then draw up a map to look for the 4 symbols divine weapons. Including you, we already have 3 people. Tai Chang laughed. Previously, we only had 2. Chen Shang thought that Tai Chang's group had 8 members, he didn't think that it would only be 2 people. Don't underestimate my team. Although there were only 2 of us previously, our results were still pretty good. Our completion rate is very high, and we are ranked in the top 50 of the entire devil-killing divine palace. Tai Chang said proudly. Chapter 1779. Tai Chang's group only had 2 people, and judging from his tone, being able to get this rank seemed to be an extremely amazing thing. It could be seen that his partner's strength was not bad. In the devil-killing divine palace, how many teams like yours are generally formed? Now that Chen Shang no longer had the tracing mantra, he wanted to follow him around everywhere and carry out the missions distributed to them. There are a total of more than 300 teams with the most people, and all of them are in the top 10, basically having dozens of people in a single team. That's a large team, and they carry out very dangerous missions. Tai Chang said. Ren Tianyang actually had a team. As the strongest war god in the devil-killing divine palace, it was normal for the team he led to be the strongest. Let's go, I'll bring you to meet my partner right now. We've only been on the same team for a few months, so our results are very good because of our good cooperation. Tai Chang smiled and said, in the past, when I just joined the devil-killing divine palace, I was also part of a party with another person. Tai Chang brought Chen Shang to wander around the villa, and arrived at a relatively old building. Outside, he shouted, Brat, our team has a new member. Just as Tai Chang was about to open the door and enter, he heard a dissatisfied voice sound out from inside, our team can't let other people join as they please. They have to at least pass my test. Chen Shang frowned, because this voice was a little familiar, very similar to someone he knew, but a little different. After opening the door, Chen Shang saw a somewhat tanned bald man standing at the door. He was very tall and his body was very uniform. Xiao Chou, Chen Shang shouted in shock. The bald man in front of him was his disciple. It was just that at that time, he was a young lady, and now he had grown up, and his appearance had not changed much. Who are you? Do we know each other? Because Chen Shang was still disguised, Xiao Chou could not recognize him. Tai Chang could tell that Chen Shang recognized him with a glance, because he did not tell Chen Shang his name, yet Chen Shang actually knew his name. What happened next made Tai Chang's heart jump, was that Chen Shang actually jumped up, and fiercely patted on Xiao Chou's head. Slap! With a crisp smack, Tai Chang was stunned. He couldn't understand why Chen Shang did such an abnormal action. If he patted someone's head when he had nothing to do, other than Chen Shang having a cheap hand, Tai Chang couldn't think of any other reason. Just as Xiao Chou was about to explode in anger, he saw that the person in front of him had a very familiar smile, and that look in his eyes. He immediately recalled that ever since he was young, there were only a few people who dared to hit his head like that, and that Chen Shang was one of them. You bastard, you actually came to God's realm so early. Chen Shang laughed as he spoke, and even reached out to touch Xiao Chou's head. Master, it's really you. Not only was Xiao Chou not angry, he was instead overjoyed and struck Chen Shang with his fist. You irresponsible master, how many years have you left me behind? Chen Shang laughed, but you are still growing up quickly. Xiao Dao and the others, aren't they with you? These fellows are too slow, they can't keep up with my tempo. I am the most outstanding person in great strength race all these years, and I possess the purest bloodline and inheritance of the Herculean god. They can't compare to me. Xiao Chou laughed complacently. I didn't think that you would know Tai Tu, master. This guy actually didn't mention anything about you to me. Tai Chang laughed. Didn't you say that your master was Chen Shang? Because Chen Shang was also a relatively sensitive person in the god's realm, both Tai Chang and Xiao Chou would not mention him. You two fellows should be afraid of knowing me and causing trouble for you too, that's why you did not say anything, right? Chen Shang scolded. That's great, you guys are all in our team now. We might be able to push the rankings even further forward. Xiao Chou was from the great strength race, so his growth rate had always been astonishing, and now, he was leading the way for many people entering the God's realm. Chen Shang was still a little surprised, for just a moment ago, Xiao Chou said that he had the bloodline of the Herculean god, which made him even more surprised. Xiao Chou brought Chen Shang into his house and brought out many good things to entertain them. At the same time, he wanted to discuss his plans for the future. What's up with this team's ranking? Could it be that ranking is very important? Chen Shang had just joined the devil-killing divine palace, so he didn't really understand much about this place. Of course it's important. As long as we can get one of the top rankings, the amount of God's money we receive every month will double, and the difficulty of the missions we receive will be even higher. Tai Chang said. Then what is the ranking? Chen Shang asked again. According to the points, the more missions we complete, the higher the points we get, and the harder the missions, the more points we will have. According to the points, the more missions we finish, the higher the points we get, and the harder the missions we will have. Tai Chang said. Xiao Chou laughed heartily. You underestimate my master. With him here, the top 10 shouldn't be a problem. Maybe we are the only team that don't have a war god. And it's only 3 people, yet can squeeze into the top 10. Tai Chang took a deep breath. If they can enter the top 10, the team can get 3 middle-grade divine equipment. The worst middle-grade divine equipment would cost several millions in divine money. Isn't it so? I'm still using the worst inferior-grade god equipment in a stall with tens of thousands of gold coins. Xiao Chou took out a spear. Tai Chang also took out his own divine weapon. It was a huge pair of scissors. This one is much worse than yours, it's only worth 30,000 God's coins. Chen Shang curled his lips and said, when I was in DTN, my green dragon demon slain broadsword were at the peak of existence. Even here, they couldn't compare to you guys. Chen Shang took out green dragon demon slain broadsword and Suzaku bow. It should be worth tens of thousands of dollars. Tai Chang picked it up and looked at it. Only those who enter the top 10 will receive rewards, let's work hard. Xiao Chou laughed. Master, you are so good at refining pills, staying here for 8 or 10 years, you can easily buy a set of middle-grade divine equipment. Chen Shang had the thought of refining pills to earn some money, but his goal was not to buy divine weapons, he just wanted to find the ancient 4 symbols divine weapons. Then let's move out now. We don't need to rest, we can just go and find a mission. Xiao Chou said. Right now, we are already group 50. We do not need to wait for them to be allocated, we can directly go and claim them. In order to obtain the divine mid-grade divine tool that he dreamed of, Xiao Chou and Tai Chang were both filled with motivation. Chen Shang followed behind them and arrived at the top of the devil-killing divine palace. Chen Shang counted. The floor they were on should be level 20. There were many people here, and also many profound goddess. Back then, when Chen Shang was in the divine prison, the Azure Dragon had said that after the profound god carried out the examination, he would receive a silver divine tablet with the word, Profound God, written on it. Why are there so many people? What happened? When Xiao Chou saw 20 or 30 inferior profound god here, he did not dare to be so arrogant. After all, he was just a small true god. Super profound god. Chen Shang suddenly saw a skinny man. He was wearing a silver mask with 2 hands behind his back and a silver divine badge hanging from his waist. There was a upper written beside the profound god. Second senior brother. Second teacher. The group of people immediately started greeting the second senior brother. Profound God would usually call this person second senior brother, and the others would call him second uncle. He should be the second disciple of devil-killing heavenly god. Before, Ren Tianyang and this second senior brother should be the stronger disciples of the devil-killing heavenly god, but they were not God's disciples. As for the outstanding disciples of the god of fortune, they were already God's disciples. They were all disciples of the devil-killing heavenly god, and one of them was a woman who was called ninth martial uncle by many disciples. The other disciples would call her ninth junior sister, who was the most eye-catching, because she was the only female super profound god here, and who was she followed by other lower profound god. Chen Shang secretly counted, there were more than 50 profound god here, the power of this devil-killing divine palace was still very strong. 10. How many times have I said this? You have to keep your war god badge. At that moment, a large person who looked simple and honest walked in. When he heard the second senior brother's words, he hastily put away the bloody jade token on his waist. Chen Shang looked at it and saw the word war god written on it, and there were 3 words on the side. This guy, he's actually a level 3 war god. The last time I saw him, he was only at the 2nd stage. He grew so fast, Old Seven said. Tisk, 9th junior martial sister is amazing. She's already a 4th stage martial immortal. If we old guys were a bit slower, we would have been caught by the younger generation. You guys shouldn't be slacking off. The one who spoke was a fatty with a face full of smiles. Many people had serious expressions, but he laughed. This fatty was just called number 5 by someone. He was devil-killing heavenly god's 5th disciple. Previously, Tai Chang had mentioned to him that there were 10 great war gods in the devil-killing divine palace. They should all be the 10 disciples of the devil-killing heavenly god, and the strongest one among them was Ren Tianyang. Everyone is quiet. Let's get down to business. Second senior brother stood in front and floated in the air so that everyone could see him clearly. At this moment, there were more than 200 people gathered on this floor, and the strongest was undoubtedly this second senior brother. The other people were the captains of the small teams, who had received the message just now from Tai Chang to gather here quickly. This group of demons are not the product of our god's realm, they should be from some other place. They are rather strong, and it is said that they have the heavenly demon kings of the heavenly god level. Our mission this time is to completely block them, so that the divine city has enough time to prepare our defenses, so as to prevent them from being captured by the divine city. To think that it was to prevent the divine city from being captured, the crowd went into an uproar. Chapter 1780. Second brother, are you sick? Our divine city is about to be captured. In my memory, we never encountered such a thing. If those demons are so powerful, then the all-divine palaces must have sent people over. The smiling 5th brother said. This matter is related to the Hell Devil Emperor. According to the rules of the all-divine palaces, before the divine city is threatened, the all-divine palaces will not intervene. I never said that the divine city would be captured. Second senior martial brother said, if we can get rid of the powerful monsters, we will definitely have points. We won't be able to kill the small ones, but we still have to kill the small ones. Master said that if the monsters reach the city walls, we will deduct all the points. How can this be? How can we take back the spilled water? That's right, main heavenly god can't be like this. I've already used up all my divine money, he won't be able to take it back. Everyone began to complain. Didn't I say just now that the precondition to withdrawing is that we can't let the demons get below the city walls? As long as you guys don't laze around, there's no problem with it. It hasn't even started, you already think you can't do it. If eldest senior can hear it, then you will definitely lose your points. The one who spoke was the 9th junior sister. After being reprimanded by her, everyone shut up. Chen Shang felt that this devil-killing divine palace was rather united, and the strong warriors weren't strict with their words, so they spoke in a friendly manner. Second martial uncle, can you give us some information about those monsters? This is beneficial for us to fight. Chen Shang asked, although he did not acknowledge anyone as his master, but seeing that others called them that, he called them that too. Chen Shang had joined the devil-killing divine palace. The other war gods of the devil-killing divine palace did not know, and not many people knew either. It was clear that the devil-killing heavenly god was intentionally hiding this from them. For the time being, we don't have any information on him. If you can collect it, then you can just pass it on to the third elder and have him pass it on to everyone. The second senior brother thought for a moment and said, we're ready to go. We're directly in front of the city gate. We can see dozens of huge spatial rifts. The demons came out from inside. Everyone immediately dispersed. Chen Zhang's group wasn't in a hurry. Allowing the 10 great squads to take the lead was something the other team leaders agreed on. Did this Hell Devil Emperor come up with all this to vent his dissatisfaction? Chen Shang kept feeling that it was because of him that the Hell Devil Emperor had done this to the devil-killing divine palace. The captains of the top 10 squads were all disciples of the devil-killing heavenly goddess. These squads had dozens of people, and each of them had several profound goddess within them. I heard that the current 10 great war gods in the devil-killing divine palace are only the third batch of disciples in the devil-killing heavenly god, and the strongest is the first batch of disciples. There are also 10 of them, but their whereabouts are unknown, and the second batch has always been in the devil-killing divine palace. Tai Chang whispered into Chen Zhang's ears, devil-killing divine palace is not that weak. The doubt in Chen Zhang's heart was dispelled because the god of fortune's prized disciples were all gods, and the devil-killing heavenly goddess were considered strong in the god's realm, so it was impossible for the disciples to be on the profound god level. So the current 10 disciples were actually on the third batch. Although there were only 1,000 of them that had left the devil-killing divine city, their overall strength was extremely terrifying. Walking on the streets, they scared many people, especially the 9 war gods in front, whose aura alone was enough to scare them. Master, with your current identity, it's best not to reveal it. Wait a moment, don't use the green dragon demon slain broadsword either. Xiao Chou whispered to Chen Shang. Chen Shang nodded. Then do you have a good weapon? Xiao Chou asked. No, I don't need you right now. If I can't do it, you will still be here. Chen Shang, on the other hand, was not nervous. He had just joined the devil-killing divine palace and Chen Shang had not yet learned the devil-killing divine palace's techniques. Furthermore, he was not a true god yet, so Xiao Chou was a little worried. Chen Shang possessed the supreme god bone, so he was very confident in his own strength. Furthermore, he also had the spatial energy and the heavenly alchemy. When everyone left the city gate, they sprinted for more than 2 hours, and then saw several black cracks in the sky in front of them. One after another, large and small monsters of all shapes and sizes kept coming out. There were many different colors, and they all had a common characteristic, which was that they were very ugly, and they all oozed out some stinky mucus. The biggest was like a huge mountain, and the smallest was flying in a group like a swarm of locusts. These monsters were all gathered together and didn't attack immediately. They were waiting for the number to be sufficient before attacking. What world is this from? It was not the first time that Chen Shang had encountered such a scene. In the past, he had also encountered many demonic beasts, but now, he was much stronger. Some of the deformed worlds were formed naturally, while those worlds were tainted by the power of evil, resulting in the development of this kind of demon. Their consciousness was filled with brutality and slaughter. This isn't the first time devil-killing divine palace encountered this kind of thing. Moreover, the original intent of the devil-killing divine palace was to deal with this kind of thing. When Tai Chang saw this, he also frowned, because only the infernal realm has such a strong evil power, so main heavenly god has always suspected that it was the Hell Devil Emperor who did it. It's very likely that the Hell Devil Emperor is conducting some sort of experiment. He wants to nurture a large number of powerful demons and monsters so that he can obtain even more power. At this time, Ren Tianyang's voice suddenly came out. Everyone, pay attention. If it is not profound God, do not go against the monsters that are condensed at the top of your head. Especially those that are crystal bright, those demons are all very strong. Everyone immediately searched for monsters that had condensed crystals on their foreheads, looking for those Ren Tianyang mentioned. With just a quick glance, everyone was shocked. This was because there were quite a few of these demons. The heads of the demons and monsters were all places with eyes. Although there were a dozen or so eyes, they were still able to see where the heads were, making it easy for the monsters with crystals on their heads to see through them. The monsters with gems seemed to be close to their eyes, which was what Ren Tianyang warned them to do. I am a middle true god, old Tai is a upper true god. Master, even though you are not a true god yet, you have many evil methods. If we add them all up, you can barely match up to a lower profound god, and you should be able to fight against a monster that has condensed crystals. Xiao Chou said. Chen Shang and Tai Chang also wanted to try and kill those strong demons, but Chen Shang was more concerned with those condensed crystals.